Hello, hello. I am Dr. Brenda Jane Power, and this is a Medicine Woman Solution show where your soul has a solution. And we're going to be talking about metaphysical things, like why do you do what you do? Why does your physical body turn out the way it is? And did you know that you're the one that gets to shape how your body is? And I'm not talking about exercise. I'm not talking about just stuffing your face. I'm talking about how do you show up for yourself? And most people do not know how to show up for themselves. They don't even know what energy to bring into the space because we have been taught such poor social skills. Nobody knew what was going on. So there's not really a blaming, but now it's about a discovering because a lot of people say, hey, how do you connect with your higher self? What is a higher self? And all of this other stuff. But I will tell you, as you begin to awaken, if you don't know any of those things, and part of awakening is this urge. And it's what your soul does. It creates this soul's urge that there's something greater than this. And this you can underline as stress, worry, fear, trauma, drama, conflict, competition. And that is made up of all the collective of the 3D world. And these are the lower frequencies of creation in the levels of consciousness, aka chakras. So as you begin to grow as just a regular human, we were taught to just separate ourselves from our spiritual self. And that is disconnecting from our heart brain, disconnecting from the spiritual truth. And there's a higher truth, disconnect from our soul. So we threw spirit off the planet, and that you have to beg for mercy. And it's the way we control the story. It's the way we hold definitions. It's the way we hold beliefs. And so, like, if we have a belief that we're just fine, we're going to look great. But if we have a belief that we start thinking in ourselves that something's wrong, like, oh my God, I forgot to put on lipstick, you will then be brought attention to the fact that my lips look like they're fine or they look like they're missing something. And so when you are bringing your attention to that, see, you probably won't even notice, just a little darker, but you may not have noticed. Some of you are like, oh, yeah. So we'll be easily persuaded by emotions that we say or not say. It's by the gestures. It's about the tone. So we can easily get caught up in the world of someone else. We get persuaded. It's just a natural way of who and how we are here. But how can we hold space for ourselves? And that is understanding, like, just one small part, and that is belief systems. So, for instance, when I was in my 30s, I was so stressed out to the max. Now, stress is going to be a big part of how you see your beliefs. It's going to put you into the filter of HERTZ, hertz, frequency hertz. Okay. And then it's going to make it below 500. So you're going to be having a world that's going to be more into the pain, the suffering, the negativity, the way that the energy controls and resists and constricted. And it's just there, but there's beliefs. Nobody likes me. I'm not good enough. And none of that's true. You're just in an unhealthy alignment. You're in that frequency of alignment that causes you to not see what you need to see. You with me so far? I'm just going to try to do my best to get here to my page, so I can get to my followers. If you're going to want to be on YouTube, look for Medicine Woman Solution. That's Soultion. And then you can like and share and help get this. Oh, it's not working. um, anyways, remember, ring that bell, like it. We can come a long ways. Here we go. Oh, I wasn't clinically dead. No, okay. That's very interesting how I'm not able to. question then is that, am I even doing a live show? There we go. I see myself. Excellent. Hello, Crystal, Autumn, April, TP. How you doing? How you doing? Who's local? Some people I don't recognize the name, but hello. There's Judy. Wonderful. Cheesy noodles. Why do false beliefs still feel true, even though they are not? That is such an excellent question. Okay, so where did we get them? Think about this. Where did we get them? So the first 7 years of your life, you're basically downloading other people's beliefs. Okay. And it is whatever that you believe, it's either be alive and thrive or be a lie. Okay. And you will believe it because emotions and things like this will be right there, be present. Like you're watching TV and you're like, oh my God, oh my God. I didn't even put on mascara, which is fine. But did you even know any of this was off? And even if it is, who cares? Who cares? We do to some degree, or we do too much. Okay. It's up to you how you want to believe. So belief, oh my God, there's something wrong. Everybody's going to be not liking it too. So it hits our 6 S's: safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, which is that freedom everybody thinks they don't have. And you wouldn't even know unless I pointed it out. And some of you that maybe, okay, people can only show up to me this way, and you don't have this on, this on, this on, there's something wrong with you. And now I can't trust you. See how beliefs construct certain things? But where would you have gotten them from? From your environment, whether it was home, school, society, town, wherever. You are sculpted from the external environment that helps you create a perception. With me? So these perceptions control your behavior. These perceptions, these external information, these perception control your genes. These perceptions can rewrite your genetic code. For instance, my spine, like I said, when I was young and I was in my 30s, I was very stressed. I had 2 kids. And my son had a pinched nerve, but nobody could find it. And so for 6 months straight, it was unbelievable. He could never sleep. And so anytime he would like start to digest, he would cry because of that nerve. Every time that he would want to go to the bathroom, and so anytime his little nerves went down his spine and went in to help his organs to function, he had a pinched nerve. And it was like, oh my God. So, but it was all the time. And that I didn't understand. And everybody else kept telling me, no, it's because it's what I ate because I breastfed. It's all this, it's all that. And you get frustrated because you feel like there's no answer. And then when people tell you that, no, that was the answer and it's not, you start feeling like you can bang your head against the wall. But stress started to cause too much cortisol. And too much cortisol can start creating this hump here. Okay. And it's a fatty tissue buildup in this upper part of your back, which then you're, instead of holding your spine the way you need to, because it curves, wish I had my spine here. This starts to bend over. So it looks like the bones are not doing what they're supposed to do. But you're being formed. You're being formed physically. And my gut is a cortisol belly. So I can eat healthy. I can eat the correct foods. I can eat them at the correct time. I can exercise, and nothing's going to change because, and that was getting frustrating. What's wrong with me? Okay. So where does the mind go? And I didn't have a spirit as far as I had spirit, but not as much as I do today. And spirit is the idea is that you're communicating with the higher source. And I would just say, thank you, Spirit. I don't know this. Thank you, Spirit. I don't know this. But I open myself up to want to receive the answer. Okay. And I had gone through so many different things as far as in the last year, last year, I made a devotion to myself that said, I'm going to take 365 days to help my spinal health. It wasn't really about, um, you know, beauty or physical form. I just want to, I'm going to look at my health. And so I started exercise. I could feel different movements. Then I was doing yoga but the dieting and eating more healthy and intermittent fasting and stuff like this and correcting my gut biome. What I discovered was I needed to find different professionals. Okay, so I was taught in that through whether it's different kinds of doctors, one that's a GP, one that's a physio, one, and they're not doctors, but physio, one the chiropractors. You got all kinds. So I've had like 4 or 5 different groups of people that looked at my spine and said, first there was nothing wrong with it, and then finally got an X-ray, and it is scoliosis, and there's a belief that you can't do anything about it. And here you can only do is satisfy yourself by helping you stretch, help get to relieve the pain. My neck started losing its curve, the hump. Nobody ever talked about the hump, but and they just said that the nerves are not feeding your organs properly. So I just kept saying, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit. And I said, nope, 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 nope. I know Spirit's got the answer. I know my soul's got the answer. That's it. So for almost or for about a year and a half, I've been looking for some way to get relief, whether it's through massage, um, back to chiropractic. I had a bad experience with a chiropractor. They were fresh on the scene, and I told them I had fallen and broken my fingers and damaged, this whole area, including this here where in the bone, it looks like stalactites. So you have to be very careful. And she didn't listen. And she just wanted to prove to me that she was tiny and I'm big and that she could correct it. And I said, and it's like, keep your mouth shut. You're not a professional. Okay. So something wasn't quite right. And I says, my head. And then they go, they blacklisted me as to say, she's going to be a problem. Make sure that you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and so I went back again, and then they treated me so badly. I just was gun shy. Okay. But I knew in some way I'm supposed to go down the road of chiropractic. Um, they never failed me in the past. So I'm like, okay. And then my fear, the gun shy, was that I would start tracking in such stories that would keep me from doing what I know Spirit wanted me to do. Finally, I had to come to the realization that I'm listening to the wrong mindset, to the wrong set of beliefs, to the wrong beliefs that create this perception and my perception is creating this behavior. And I said, no, I have to show up for myself. So first of all, it's less than love. All right, I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to start to correct it, fix it, heal it, do whatever I need to do. Okay. And I didn't judge it. I just started moving with not pictures, but a sensation that with my heart, what do you want to call it? Hold on. My chair's about ready to fall over. My heart-brain coherence. Okay. And so when I noticed that I wasn't happy or joyful, I couldn't download the energy of joy. So what does that mean? We're hardwired for joy. Suffering is an option. And I'm not just making this up. There is a whole school of different thinkers and this and that have used energy to understand this. And so that'd be my first thing. I'm going to show up by being my 5%. Okay, I'm not happy. Okay, so that means my body is telling me a story. My body is telling me a story. My perception is viewing it is that I'm not happy. I am. So the great I am. So I'm saying I am that, unhappy. I am. Oh, thank you. And so I'm like, okay, so it feels like the truth. big deal. I'm going to write it down. And I wrote, I'm not happy. But that's just so general. About what? About my health, about I feel disappointed that all this effort that I'm putting in, all the stuff I'm investing in is not showing results. And it's like, what am I going to do? Well, again, where was my attention, my 5%? It was on the pain, the suffering. It wasn't on the answer. So I said, thank you, Spirit, for the answer. I didn't control the answer. I just said, I trained myself to look for the gem pops, the way that the answer would show up. So I've been watching this guy for, and the stuff he puts up. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to go to them. And it wasn't just him. I didn't notice this, but he kept putting up like the x-rays, how he did it, how he helps people. I thought, no, I need an x-ray. Because in my mind, I've already had this experience that created me to look at the perception and the belief a certain way that I've been told by many people, which I borrowed from, that I can't fix my curve of my neck or my spine. And I'm like, okay, I think and I marked it down that I'm gonna see this guy. But in the meantime, I started to you can use EFT, OMG, but I knew the innate wisdom needed me to help send the correct signals. So I use success hope therapy. And so I'm holding the energy, bringing the blood back up, which helps change the perception because your frontal lobe creates reality. And so that got it down from a 10 down to, like a 1 or a 2, but I couldn't get any further. And I said, okay. And so I developed different healing tools. And then I waited and I kept asking Spirit. I said, thank you for the answer. Thank you for the answer. I didn't ask for the answer. I didn't pray the problem. I just said, thank you, Spirit. I knew. So I could feel how I didn't know. And I would heal out how I don't know. But then I'm like, okay, I'm not quite aligned to the healthy alignment. You're aligned everything all the time. But I knew there was one, just like one. And then all of a sudden it started to build. So then I had to see a naturopath. Okay. So instead of a regular GP, Spirit said, and I knew about this person for like 6 years and I just kept putting it off. And finally it was like, nope, my excuses were I don't have enough money. I can't because there's not enough, or I can't spend that much money on me. And I didn't catch that I was trying to say, not worthy, it's wrong. And it's like, stop. So I kept healing out all those negative things. And then finally it was like, nope, doing it. So I had hit a level of making chemical peptides so that I can. So I changed the perception. I had to stop believing that I can't. I had to listen to my words that said I can't. And so I kept healing out. So like I said, EFT, I can't do this, I can't, or whatever, whichever healing tool, there is a way. People are like, well, how you do it? I teach this all the time. How do you do it? You have to listen to what I'm saying. So as I began to change my beliefs, I would get more aligned to lining up to the healthy solution. So finally it was like, okay, I'm going to go see this naturopath. And I get in there and he's like, has this machine. He's like, oh, he says, let's measure the yin and yang of your cortisols or your adrenals and all of these. And he says, wow, he says, your cortisol is like through the roof. What's going on? And I'm like, if you knew my home life, it's awesome. If you knew my business, it's awesome. And he's like, of course, you could tell that he didn't believe what I was saying because, you don't have, I'm telling the truth. I have a great life. So I'm, taking this, doing this, and I went back again and he's like, wow, they are not changed. And I went back one more time and he says, what is going on? And I said, and we were looking at each other like we both kind of knew where we were going to say. He says, this has got to be old, something from the past. Something is ongoing, but something is on the path, in the past. And so I take that information home and I kept saying, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit. And then lo and behold, I started to I said, that's it. I went over and I healed enough that, yep, I'm going. So I go see this chiropractor. And the moment I walk in, I didn't even recognize myself because my beliefs that I have been told by so many people that you cannot change your neck. You cannot really do a lot for your curvature. It's stuck that way. And I'm like, what? So I went in there with this preconceived worry and notion, and because he had they'd taken pictures and they put it up, and then I'm looking and coming to my own conclusions with fear, and he comes in, he goes, hi. And then he's like, he says, it's okay. He says, stop thinking. He says, let me explain, So he explains to me that I'm stage 2 degeneration. And I kind of knew that because I haven't had 30 years of estrogen. So estrogen is needed for the bones. Estrogen is needed for many things. And I'm also the trace minerals and minerals, my body, I have not been providing it, or I just couldn't get it out of my foods. And so it's like I'm listening to him, and he says, I wouldn't classify you as scoliosis. So get that out of your mind. He talks like me, he's positive, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh my God, my last x-ray that I had like a couple years ago, I had such distinct, my hips were crooked, there was 3 points along that were so badly bent. And again, nobody could give me. And I have been exercising, doing my best to do the splits and just working on my body, relaxing it, doing all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I achieved something. Because he says, I would just call this as postural issues. He says, you got a slight in the hip. He says, and he told me his knowledge, he's telling me, and he says, you have this hump here. He says, you got stress. He says, look at your weight. He says, it's cortisol, which matched up to what the naturopath said. I said, cortisol? What? And I'm like, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit. So he starts me on a regimen where he's going to do his adjustments, right? But he would send me little videos. And the first video was hello. The second video was, you're going to do some nerve flossing. You're going to deliberately use your body slowly and deliberately to help your nerves. I'm like, hallelujah. Normally you don't hear anything about how to really help your nerves. And that was nice. Then he gave me something called, I don't have it in here. It's a dinner roll, which is a little foam thing. So I have to prop it up because of the hump. I had to prop it down by my shoulders, and then I have to lay on it, and then my head goes back. And I'm like, oh my God, that hurts. And oh my God, the back fat. Now, I didn't know that the back fat was related to the cortisol, that hump. I didn't put two and two together, even though he had said it, right? So it's new to what he said. I haven't really paraphrased it or understood it. I kept saying, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit. And one of the things is that Spirit will start putting all these puzzle pieces together. Okay. And see, I've never had a chiropractor that was so well-oiled machine. You come in, you have this adjustments, but then he sends information so that you're doing your part so that he can do his part, and together you create a whole different environment. So in 4 weeks, this is better. I can feel it. Okay. So if you've ever tried to put your hand like this and try to touch your fingers, and see, before I could never really get my arm to go back. Well, now I can go back a little bit more. This side is almost touching. And so I'm like, oh, my framework's changing. I can feel it. It's still tight here. It's cool. It feels good. And it's like, I'm seeing improvement. And that's one thing that spirit loves for you to see, is that you're on the right track. You'll get small things that will show you that keep investing with that good stuff. And so, like I said, within 4 weeks, now here's the best part. I haven't been able to sleep well for like almost over 30 years. I'd say definitely longer than that. But, and, but I realized it was when I started to have babies, and the stress was so, I mean, for 6 months, I didn't sleep because my son had that pinched nerve. Nobody knew, but I took him to see a Reiki specialist, actually a Reiki master, but it was a specialist because I mean, this woman she saved both my kids' lives. And less than 10 minutes, less than 20. I think it was like 20 minutes altogether, but less than that. She's explaining things, and she's just holding his little hip area and his spine, and just and talking as we're holding, and all of a sudden his little leg just went woof. He stopped crying. I think he had cried himself for those 6 months straight, that there was no reason to cry anymore. He slept through the night. I had what night and day. I started, but I was stressed because then I found out I was pregnant again. Oh my God. And so the stress of having to do things, and the way your world is, the way that there's all these responsibilities and all these things. And if you can't already cope with it, then you're overwhelmed, and the cortisol does not help. And so that all of a sudden my body started to get really messed up with my immune system, and messed up with my breathing, and messed up with my sleeping. So I'm told that there's nothing you can do about it. Let's do a sleep study. Let's do this. Let's take this drug. Let's do that. And oh, it's because I have no estrogen now and all this other stuff. And so again, the naturopath says, well, let's just get you some, let's start you with, what does he say? Breathing exercises. But then he said, by the fourth time I come, because I couldn't even activate the machine, he says, you got nothing in your system. No correct water balance, no estrogen. He says, that's way out, that's gone. And he says, you know what? He goes, just start putting in. He highly suggested that I take, oh my God, golden seal, what do you call it? Linseed, crushed up. Oh my God, and I didn't even realize, because I had put up with my restless legs, the jerking, the hot feet, the pulling me awake, the you name it. Okay. And so I crushed my flax seeds. I like the golden seal better. And I take that, and I started adding mineral magnesium cream on the outside. Okay. Didn't seem to matter if I took it inside, but when I put the magnesium cream on my legs, it would calm down, start taking care of the heat. But the estrogen also then caused me to sleep. I still had problems sleeping, but my body wasn't going ape. And then again, only 4 weeks seeing the chiropractor. He would do the adjustments, but I had to do the work at home. And because we made a team, and he believed, he goes, he says, let's take that belief you can't do it. And he says, let's expect a miracle. So his talk, his support, his determination, the way he ran his chiropractic business, and the way that he holds this belief, he says, I stopped thinking about it. He says, that's not the answer you're looking for, is it? And I'm like, no. And he's speaking my language. In 4 weeks, guess who's sleeping through the night? With nothing, no help with anything. Just drift off, fall asleep quickly, which I couldn't before. I stopped waking up and staying awake. I'm able to sleep. And when I went for my assessment, now they don't do an x-ray, but they do pictures to show before and after where you're at. And so my body was leaning forward, so my head, instead of being 7 pounds, was like 13 pounds, and I still have the hump and Still got the extra weight, but but now instead of leaning forward and crooked, I'm actually almost standing up. So they did a longevity test, getting up and off the floor. Getting down still a little hard because, when you're bottom heavy, you can hit that floor a little hard because you just can't get the abs to work right. But getting up, so I can get up in two different ways now off the floor without my hands. Um, Balance is still an issue, but much better. And sleeping through the night just because I started to take care of my shoulders right here, just my shoulders, and saw the way my head would fall, which is starting to correct everything in my spine. And so then a year can make a big difference. So then I said again, what's going on? I kept saying, thank you, Spirit. I started noticing like when I would be more in cortisol or not. My body's been so used to cortisol that as when it wasn't, the energy in my body would create situations. And so I got to experience almost getting hit by two cars and one bicycle in a span of an hour and a half. Talk about um, cortisol going through the roof. And I got to experience a benchmark where I thought was normal. And then how the cortisol, I'm like, oh my God, that used to be my normal. So it's not. That's awesome. And then it's like what the tools to use to help correct my body, to calm it down, they're working. Ah, yeah, more proof. And let me tell you, I cracked the tooth and it's like, oh, okay. So I went into again, very determined. I want to get my spine healthy. I want to be able to sleep. I want to be healthy again. So I go in and uh, they take a whole picture, the whole thing, right? They got to make sure that the damage I had there, they thought, well, they're going to check everything because I haven't had an X-ray. They said, oh, but then they sent me to a surgeon because they can't get in there because the bulbous of the root was crooked. So the surgeon goes, hi. And I'm like, hi, a great man. Spirit has got my back. He's like, did you know that you have something going on up here? Now I had to have teeth extraction up here, but that was over like 7 years ago or so. He says it's infected. He says there's a root left behind, and it's sometimes it's nobody's fault. He says, because it can be so jammed there, but he says, you have an infection. I says, could I have had it for about 7 years? He says, yeah. I said, my husband had a theory. Can you answer me this? That because my body is fighting an infection that I can't see, low grade infection, maybe. And I says, but would that jack my cortisol? He says, absolutely. So he goes and tells me this. And I go in to get this extracted. So he took care of this. Oh my God, my face feels better. But guess who's starting to finely tune to know that their body is not in hijacked with cortisol? My body feels different. It's like it's humming different. I am so excited to get all of this healing stuff repaired and go back to see my naturopath to see if when he measures my cortisol, if we've got it. It was amazing to hear. I mean, when my husband said that, I'm like, serious? It's like, why didn't I ever think of that before? And then when the doctor confirmed it, I says, could this really be the answer? For 7 years, I have been, and I'm like, regardless if it is, if there's more, but the point is that was taken care of. My spine is getting better. I mean, I'm 56, but I'm reversing my age dramatically because 1 year can make a difference. But my belief systems were the problem. I was gun shy. I was afraid because of the last chiropractor. A bad experience can make me take my cookies and go home and then give up on the whole thing. Because you're like, oh, so what happens? What I love to help people do is let's balance the brain. Let's balance the frontal lobe. Let's take care of those hormones that are causing you to stick with a belief that causes you to have restrictions, a limitation, and you put self-imposed limitations on yourself. I can't. Let's get past these. Let's take these bad experiences and let's make them history. Let's get the wisdom out of it. Because when you set with your intention and you keep saying, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Spirit, you will start getting answers one after the other if you begin to understand what to look for. Now, down to the simplest little things is that I got my nails done. Now, obviously, they're cool looking, man. They get a little shimmer. But they're acrylic. Now, I used to have beautiful long nails, but I never painted them because that's high maintenance for me. Ugh, no. And I wanted to be more girly, but I couldn't get into the girly thing. But I would not spend money because I was always so poor, right? But that's not the belief anymore. I'm not poor. I'm not a millionaire, but there's old habits, right? The beliefs, the habits, the perceptions. And it's like, oh, I can't, it's like, I can't let and I began to heal myself. So I'd walk by this nail place, like every time I went up to get to the shop to get whatever I had to. And there would be the man that's in there that works with the husband and wife team now. He works in there, and I would ask questions every now and then. And this time I was like, oh, I want to get my nails done. I really am going to do it. And I couldn't understand the urge of why I wanted it done. And you don't know the art of change, of perception that can create a whole new belief just by changing color, just by changing the accessories and how important they can actually be. Like my one friend and I, she gets her hair cut and she gets this blowout, the blowout just makes you sexy. It just makes you tracked in. It makes you feel good. And she got her hair done. I'm like, oh my God, you must have just got it done because it looks like you got a great blowout. She goes, I did. Isn't it amazing what a blowout can do? So we're always talking about how one little change can create this whole ray of joy. So, anyways, finally, I was going to do it, and I realized the time and the day. So, at the time here, things close early. So I go, and I'm looking, and he sees me. So then I'm done where I'm at, and I go back, and he says, "Come here, come here." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Ask her, ask my wife." I'm like, what am I supposed to ask? Right? Because it's all dark. They're getting ready to go home. And I didn't see her. And then finally I'm like, hi. And I said, well, I want to get my nails done. I'm not sure about any information about what kind of nails. I just know that I'm hit menopause and I don't have beautiful nails anymore. And that always remind me of my mother. And my mother had gorgeous, gorgeous nails, and they were natural. She would have them painted all the time, and they were just so gorgeous. And she's like, "Oh, come on." She goes, "Sit down." And she just did them. She says, "You come back. We'll go out to eat later. I'm going to take care of her." And as she said it, she was working. I'm like, God, I was so amazed at the artwork. Each little step, each little thing, right? She says, "What? Oh, you're going on vacation? You're going and doing something?" And I said, "Yeah." And as I was explaining it, she goes, "Oh," and she brought up Mother's Day. And it hit me, bang. My mother, dead since 92, has been sending me a message. As I'm getting my nails done, I realize these nails represent my mother. And in another bonding moment, and my heart wanted to well up with great joy, but I didn't really want to cry in front of this woman. And so when I got my nails done, started coming home, I want to cry now. It is just, look, these are on the end of my fingers. And I think they're beautiful. I never felt so feminine. And it's amazing how one little thing, yeah, my mother, I think, had me get my nails done because again, it was like, okay, I'm gonna go by the shop. It's already closed, or I can't do it. But it was perfectly aligned. And I just feel like this is a gift from my mother. And all I can tell you is that right now, as I think about this connection, I can feel her greatly close to me. And this isn't missing tears. This is amazing. I love my mother tears. And I'm so grateful for this bond. See, this is the hat that my mother, I've said this story many times, probably don't want to hear it anymore, but um, my mother was from the 50s and she had loved Angora sweaters and poodle skirts. And she died in 92. I arrived here at 2014. This is about 2016. And dead people can give you gifts. A spirit will just raise their hand and say, oh, I'll deliver the message, whether they know it or not. But it's already prearranged. There's no weird shit happening. And I think my sister's here because I just seen it says Bonnie joined, which my sister's name was Bunny, but that just yeah, her sweater's over there. You can't see that. But this is a physical item. And I had met somebody, they came over and you can't see anymore, it's worn out. But the label says 50% Angora. Now my mother, ahead of myself. So my friend came over, she dropped the hat and she left. And then I'm like, oh, you left your hat here. She said, just keep it. I'm sitting there in bed. This is in a whole nother room. And I keep hearing, look at the tag, look at the tag, look at the tag, look at the tag. What tag? What the hat? So I goes out and gets the hat. Because again, my mother kept telling me Angora, Angora, Angora for like a week. Like, I don't know. I'm new in this town. I don't even know where to even shop to get Angora. Do they even have Angora anymore? And I look and it says 50% Angora, and I just bawled that my heart just went boom. It's like my mother gave me a kiss and a hug all over again. And this was a gift, simple little hat that has 50% Angora. And it's a gift from my mother. So now it's like, and Mother's Day is coming up. I just know it is. This isn't no jumping. This is, I mean, I wondered what kind of sign. Usually right around my birthday, my mother will do some really cool things. But at this point, she wanted me to know about getting my nails done. But the power of accessories, the power of changing a color, a power of changing shape. A lot of times we just disregard it. And you know what? As I was talking to my husband, I says, these hands may be old looking. They've lost their collagen, their elasticity. But I've got something that my mother and my sister and my father and my brother didn't have. I got to live past 50. I got to live. So I have the privilege of getting old. I can feel them all here right now. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, I think that's what, you know, hmm. The hat was cute. I should have left it on. I love getting gifts from the other side, and people, I'm going to tell you, you can't. There's no reason not to. Spirit has your back. And why is this not charging? Oh, because I didn't turn something on. Oh, hold on. I got to turn something on. Otherwise, I'm going to lose a lot of battery stuff here. Whoops. Okay. Oh, thank you. Compliment. Oof. But anyway, I believe I can communicate with the loved ones. You like my slippers? I believe that I can and my perception, my ability to connect with my higher self, my soul, my is I can connect and I live as my 5%. And I live in that heart space and I have that heart brain coherence. I'm able to live past my restrictions and my fears. I'm able to use tools to pull me out of fear. Let me tell you, I know that this body and this is the only, I'm born in this body. Nobody else is. This body needs me and I need it. And we are going to have a nice travel together. This hump, this cortisol belly, it's not just, I mean, I'm happy. Now let's get the body and the rest of the space to become stronger and healthier. Oh, I see what the problem is. Hold on. And now my boobs are touching the keyboard, making everything. Did I lose you? Oh, good. I didn't. There, now I have electricity going in the right places. We have to just pay attention. Oh, you're welcome. The work I've been doing has drawn new friends in my life, and I'm just like, wow, good. Because you're changing these chemical peptides, which help change these beliefs that help change the perception that which then helps you change how you attract things in. And I love how I can attract in love in this healthy alignment. It's not good or bad, it's healthy alignment. We're attracting shit in all the time. If you're here, give me a thumbs up, follow the page. And just remember, whatever reading, if you ever want to watch this again, just go over to Medicine Woman Solution, Soultion, on YouTube and become a fan and get that bell rung as well. So what did you learn today? Just think about this. So as I paraphrase this, I want you to paraphrase too. Stop believing your own bullshit. Stop believing your own BS, belief systems. What part of you has to stop? The program self. Learn to become your 5%. Learn to become your spirit self. Learn to become, I messed up my hair. You learn to become that heart, the brain in your heart, not just live up here in your brain and you have to worry and fear. And when he told me to stop thinking, I was able to drop more in my heart and use the brain that I know that there's always a solution. When you are learning to take those beliefs and you're like, am I fearful or am I in love? Am I paranoid, which is fearful, or am I in the space of joy? Am I believing that I have to suffer and my body is going to just take me out? Or am I going to be able to find something that's going to help bring me and rise me up like a phoenix? And when I do, so it's like, changing the chemical peptides the way your frontal lobe thinks, the frontal lobe believes, the frontal lobe creates reality. This is where your personality. So as I've been viewing, what kind of personality did I have when I went and saw that one chiropractor? It was a fearful. I had stuck in that belief system and my own stories and all of the stories I borrowed, the BSs from everybody else. But is that the world I want to correct? I go, no, I'm taking my pen back. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use that damn pen by going, what is it I'm believing? What do I feel? And if anything is less than love, I'm going to use healing tools like Success, OMG, EFT to change the energy. And then I can change my thinking. It isn't just left brain and intellectualizing and left brain and because if you're doing just left brain to make the connections and you still haven't taken care of the roots and you still haven't changed the belief systems that create that perception, then you won't be able to change your biology because your biology, the physiology, is all controlled by your perceptions. When you begin to be your 5%, you'll go, oh my God, this is great. And I can healing and I can see before and after. I get results. That's what I want to aim. I don't even have to believe my own BS when your littles come up and going, I'm hurt. I'm this and that. But that is not to say that we have to say no to it. We are like, What is my little saying? Why do I have that belief system? Why does my littles have that belief system? And but sometimes we don't need to tell everybody what we think, because if they aren't in the space to understand you, then you could get somebody to what do you call it? Um, create, because relationships need to change. Relationships need to uh, this is why I want to talk about relationships and social skills at some point, because we need to heal this, change this, so that you guys can have better relationships, like Zale just said. Somebody says, oh, how do where is it? So somebody says, I did something wrong. I swallowed something wrong, and my 5% says, oh, I'm clearing my throat. Okay. And so then your 5% goes, where am I not speaking my truth? And it may not be, as you look at your face, this moment in this experience that you've had, that's the actual truth. It is, where is it that I just had a thought without knowing it? Oh, hi, Robin. And where is it that I had? And so it means, what age were you before that's experienced this moment? What's going on? Do you have to believe your own BS? We borrow belief systems and perceptions. And if we don't begin to pay attention to the fear aspect of it, we won't know which mindset we're in. If we begin to notice that's fear, and we're using more of our spiritual self to know this, it's a choice where we're like, no, I don't have to follow it. I don't have to let it rise up and take over my world. I can tap. I can use OMG. I can use success. I can use source point, rub the energies in my body. I can do these things. So I can support myself. I can be in a space where I'm going to show up and be responsible for the energy, instead of the everything about it is pushing me, shoving me into thinking I have to go into the end result that I or others, the collective, the ancestry has had before. You have a new set of eyes. When you start to open up your higher self, when you start connecting up with your soul, when you start to realize the construction, the mental construction, or the emotional triggers that says you have to memorize this, memorize, you're like, this is how I've memorized it. But do I want to? See, as you start to heal and tap and change the chemical peptides, you're creating a different foundation to support you, so that you can wake up as your spiritual self and go, oh, I used to think that. Oh, I can still feel that, but it doesn't have to own me. I don't have to take up residency there. I am going to use my tools to get rid of it. Now, the toughest part is when you go to do this and all of a sudden you get too much joy out of being miserable, or you have too much joy of, and there's all these hidden factors. There's safety blankets, or you didn't learn the next step, but stay with the consistency of, I'm going to change this chemical peptide. I'm going to do this. When in doubt, grab a healing tool and heal it out. I'm going to disrupt this pattern, this destructive pattern that I have, and I'm going to disrupt this destructive pattern so that I can get back into balance. My nerves and me can create a space. So when I say I'm holding space for you, it is a healing space. I see you whole. It's the healing can be whatever you want it to be, but at the soul level. But it is already seeing you whole. It's already seeing that the choice of love is there. You can line up to it, or you can retaliate. You can move away. You can do any of these things. But it starts with you and your decision. And when I would feel sometimes like, oh my God, I don't have the answers, I don't see the results, do I need to give up, take my cookies, and go home because I've been defeated? No. I'm going to grab a healing tool and heal it out. I'm going to change that state, because we're changing habits. We're changing these habits. We're changing the morphogenic field, which is these habits. They keep telling you have to keep recreating this. And every time I change the habit, I'm changing this perception. When I change the perception, I notice I changed my belief. But the biggest thing is that I didn't turn to my ego. I didn't turn to my program. I just said, thank you, Spirit. Something greater than me can help me think greater than this environment. I don't have to be controlled by this external world. So I can learn how to be the peace in the storm. And there's a lot of stories for that. But what we did is we're summing up. Well, I remember the first time I couldn't. How do you guys know when I say, hey, how do you believe in that? You're like, how do I believe in that? It's because I know. Well, how do you know you know? But when somebody comes up to you and says, well, what are your beliefs? About what? Then you pick a subject or a topic or any of this. And then you'll learn how you'll notice that you're standing in conviction. But is it your truth? Or was it borrowed? Or did somebody want you to get on their bandwagon? And you're like, wait a minute, I've never really looked at it as to say, is this really my truth? What evidence do I have? I've been in wonderful situations, very uncomfortable situations, but wonderful, very, oh my God, I wish I would have never been in situations that were wonderful because they helped me see a different perspective. And I had to stand up and literally say, I don't believe the same way. And I'm not. And I would say I'm sorry that I don't believe the same way, meaning I'm sorry we can't be in alignment, but I'm not going to say I'm sorry that I have these belief systems because I've had enough experiences to notice that the perceptions can change. I've had enough experiences that says with spirit, with love, with the balancedness that I don't have to believe my own BS. I can change this. And I can no longer hold those beliefs. Now, the hardest ones are when you feel like you're not good enough. Now, that is your little self, your fear, your habit self that says that you're not good enough. And it's just a feeling, it's a state with words. And if you change the feeling, the words state, and then the mental construction begins to change how the idea has to stay into form. I know you can heal. I know you can do it. Again, give me the thumbs up if you're in the room and come over and join the like button and share away so oh, I did not know you could do that. Sorry, just learned something different with my iPad there. Okay, let me go and see what kind of rest of the show we're going to have. I'll look at the questions and answers and things like this. I'm looking, I love the fact that what Cheesy Noodle, oops, where'd it go? What Cheesy Noodle had once said. And let's see if I actually answered that. Did it go away? No. Oh, maybe it did. Where's the one Cheesy Noodle wrote? Oh, there it is. Why do false beliefs still feel true, even though they are not? Well, let me answer that one. If you're in your 5% and you start noticing that's not true, notice how habitually you are still asleep and they're like, but they're not true, but they feel true. They feel true. It's because we haven't completely changed. What happened here? My whole machine is just going like stupid here. So I believe that I can get back, but it feels like I can't get back, but I don't have to believe that. That was a live example. Is that I know that spirit has a higher meaning to this. I know that I can do something completely different than what is being presented to me. And that's using my awareness. And so even though it's like, oh my God, I can't get back, I don't have to follow it. I don't have to feed it. I don't have to go there. I can just stop and go, okay, that's an option. That's a choice in the quantum field. I'm good at that one, but I no longer want to resonate with that one. So I'm going to call myself back and I'm going to go, okay, thank you, Spirit, for the alignment to getting back. And so it's how I focused with my awareness. So I'm aware of it. I'm not absorbing it. I'm observing it. And I'm asking spirit to give me a new answer. So I'll look at how this is the energy. So I have a choice of saying, no, I don't need to follow that because I have enough experience that says I don't have to. But still, when it comes to the habit, it's still your choice of whether you want to or you don't. Okay. So for me, why do false beliefs still feel true? Because you have to use your 5% to wake up to further and further so that you can see the steps that got you there. You can see the steps to get you out. And it's all about choice. Yeah, no, not doing it. Like I had somebody throw all their energy at me and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, stop the choice. Then I could feel I started to keep myself peace in the bubble. I wasn't doing mind over matter because I don't need to plant other seeds to make it grow. But if I'm really feeling, and it's like 2 hours later, I'm like, oh my God, why did I go there? Why? Because I still have a hidden root. That said, I had this experience before and I am ready to begin to heal this if I'm paying attention with my awareness, or I'm going to put myself back to sleep. But because my intention is to wake up, Spirit's going to go, did you see that? Did you hear that? Okay, now let's take care of this and let's heal this, do this, and we're going to help you rise out of it like the phoenix. But if you notice it's a false belief system, start kicking in the ass with a whispering opportunity instead of waiting for a bitch slap to come to say, do you still want it? You're like, yeah, no. Save yourself a headache. Oh my God, it feels true. How do you know? It's like 0 through 10. It's a 10. You can use OMG. Oh my God, this, or EFT. Oh my God, it feels true, but I know it's not. It feels true. It feels true. That means you're digging for the root. Changing how do you know you know? And that means you're finally made it something that was unconscious and incompetent. You started to notice it, so it becomes more conscious, but you're still incompetent. But if you start to tap out how you know, and you're like, I could easily fall and change my own belief system and easily influence myself in the wrong direction. I'm going to, oh, it's a 10, it's a 10, it's a 10. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And all of a sudden you start breaking up the chemical peptides. And the brain goes boom, 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 creating a disturbance with the destructive patterning, which no longer is a destructive patterning. And you get to clear because the energy of the blood starts to come back up, especially if you do OMG. And then you can get yourself out of fight or flight. So if you have one step going, knowing that that's not true, but it feels, ask what number. It's a 10, start healing it out. Because Spirit has given you a wow, whispering opportunity with Spirit, and a pow, which is potential opportunity with Spirit. So the wows and pows, you don't have to wait for you don't have to be hurt. You don't have to get smacked up. Yeah, you can even disrupt a knee-jerk reaction, an auto response. So you are already ahead of the game. You do not have to keep following the crowd or the collective or your own program, your own root. You can disrupt this. You can help raise your littles. You can help take the mask off, and then the shadow can show you some wisdom. So you got all these wisdom sets hidden somewhere. You're bringing your yin and yang back into a balance of the infinity, and you're going to learn how to heal and rise like that phoenix. Did that answer that question? Hopefully, Cheesy Noodles was listening. Okay, so what else do we have here? Let's see. Miss April Lynn says, I changed my neck in 6 weeks' time from the chiropractor. Was super excited and wanted to set the fireworks. My beliefs that I can heal. See? Because at one point you believed you couldn't. And then you supported yourself. I can. And that is an achievement, which then supports you even deeper. Good job, Miss April Lynn. You can taste the difference in the flax seeds. Yeah, I think I can too. I make it have it more of a powder form, so mine thickens up so it can be used as a second thing for my intestines and my gut health. So I go even further. Yeah, you've been receiving gifts too, and that's awesome. See, let's see what she's holding that you don't have to hold on to the old programs, and you can heal anything if you believe you can. It can take time, but it can be done. And once you do, doesn't it build such incredible confidence in yourself? It just is like, I didn't know I could have that self-esteem or that confidence. I didn't think I was allowed. I thought only X, Y, and Z could have it. But I just created it for myself. And then it's not vain. It's not what people are told me I'm supposed to. I can't. Wait a minute. Did people make me there was all these different reasons. And when you start to wake up to that, you're like, you can be mad or you can go, oh my God, without it, I would not know what self-esteem really is. Without these things, I would not know. It's just like, I don't remember the song, but I think it's by Passenger. Um, um, and what it is this song is actually quite incredible. When you listen to it from an angle that has to do with you don't know what you have until it's gone. And let's see. And like you don't know that's not it either. Oh shoot. If you guys remember, maybe Let It Go, Let Her Go. Might be Let Her Go. I don't want to accidentally hit the wrong thing here. But what it is like when you don't even know you need the light until the light is gone, until that option's gone. You don't know that you how important that was until it's gone, and you don't realize the parameters of how important any of this until it's gone. Um, yeah, I think not sure which one it is. Um, but either way, it's important that you oh, did it again. How do I make that happen? No, 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 no. Get that back. I don't know what I'm doing. Let her go. Thank you. Um, oh my God, yes. I thought, all right, I'm not sure what I did here again. Oops, no, that ain't gonna work. There we go. I thought I'd be on insulin for the rest of my life, but I've been off it for 10 months. Beliefs. I mean, when you have like that, okay, hidden information that you've been searching for information, but you can't get it. But if you are in that thank you, spirit, aligned, spirit will just start dropping these informations. And you're like, oh my God, they're like little diamonds. And they're like gem pops, is what I call them. And when you start to follow them and not your fear, wow, you're like the biggest one was that I thought you had to, the only way you can get rid of a headache is to take painkillers. But and I thought it was a joke because I know I'm talking again, but it's all right. My show. I mean, I literally thought you always had to take painkillers. I would watch these shows and somebody goes, oh, come here, let me touch this, let me touch this. They're like, oh my God, I feel better. And I remember sitting around people and like, well, you can't, that's not true. Look, I'm doing it, it's not working. And so I'm like, I don't want to tell anybody I do Reiki because they already poo-poo on all the ideas. But what if that's true? So I said, thank you, Spirit. If there's an answer for that, if that's true somewhere, I'm going to be aligned to it, divine alignment to it. And lo and behold, I was doing it on myself and I thought, well, where to go? And but it was in the replication with my husband, with Ayme, with other people. I thought they were pulling my leg because I didn't really put it out to everybody. It was just like two people, or maybe three. And they're like, again, the turnaround time would be just like that. And I mean, my husband's face was like, where'd it go? I mean, when people would do this success hope therapy and they're like in a shit show, and then I said, when I asked them to measure it, and they're like, it's no longer 10. And I'd say, do you want it back? No, I need them to get this difference. And then when I would be doing source point, run certain points, and they're like, where'd it go? I mean, the turnaround time was so incredibly fast. And I said, is this really happening? And Spirit would show me pictures. Remember when you said, and you watched this, and somebody was joking around, and how somebody was poo-pooing it, and you kind of were fearful of wanting to let anybody know. And then all of a sudden, you're like, screw it. I'm just going to keep doing it. And then now I'm doing the impossible. Get out of my way. I'm doing it. And I don't need to shy away because I heard somebody once say that was wrong, bad, stupid. And I used to be completely influenced by all that all the time. And I had to heal that out. So it didn't. Yes, we do have some piffs. We have some piffs. Of course, we have for video because you can come on if you want. It's $24 to come on and have a live session and healing and all of this. And so we have Ayme coming in, and we have a chat. The chat is $12. Let's see if there's anybody there. We do have some piffs. Just let me get my window open. For some reason, it was not opening. And hopefully it will open again. So piffs, I believe we have 4 today, and they're all the $3 piffs, and that is a mini. So if you want a mini, it's $3. If you want to chat, which is a little bit longer, and no audio or video. But then here, video live, you can just have audio if you don't want video. And so we have 4 piffs. So if you want to have your piff, just tell me and then say piff, please, and then I'll start putting your name in the list, and we will have what do you call it? We will have a duck race, which I think is good. And wow, I have not opened this all weekend, and it's quite obvious. April Lynn is doing a chat. That is a $12 chat. So April Lynn says, yes, please. And so she has sent money. It's whatever spirit wants. And that's always good because with spirit, we usually will tell you what's the next thing on the list that you need to address or to heal or go along with whatever it is that you're working with. And I am right about the fact that it said Ayme and $3 for 3, yeah, for a brand new board. Oh, so then there was a small donation because I want a new board. So you see this board here. I want a new board called E-Glass, which is really cool because I do a lot of teaching and a lot of things in my shows. And it's quite expensive, but I've got a budget and putting money towards it. So thank you for that donation to go towards the e-glass, and I deeply appreciate this. Okay. So at any time, if you want to, you can send me $3, $12, or $24, depending if what kind of service you would like. Okay. Let's see. Someone told me a lie. A life lesson choice is coming up for me. I'd like to see what it is. Ah, okay. So that's your question. Oh, thank you, spirits. We got Katie down for that. We have Miss Angela Stokes in for that. And Tamara says she's about a duck race. Yeah, the TikTok does. I can't do the duck race, but it will always be on the main platform, which is I'm doing. In the main platform that I'm doing right now, it happens to be YouTube because Facebook is not supportive. So if you ever want to rewatch any of those, they are in my YouTube, Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. You can go there and the timestamps are there for the reading. I haven't gotten the time to go in and put down, the different stages of where everything is. Oh, go yeah, head there now. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Remember to thumbs up, share, like, get notified, subscribe. That's the key word, subscribe. So we have Katie, Angela, and Tamara. And if there's anybody else that wants to have a piff, let me know. Sarah said yes. I'll put Sarah. I'm going to put Sarah B just in case there's another Sarah. I know there is a Sarah that does watch, but she hasn't said anything. So again, looking. You like the emoji one. Yeah, not sure about the sound. I did not get flagged from YouTube, so that's a good thing. That was my only concern. Like if it's just ducks quacking, it's no big deal, but the other one had a little music. YouTube, what do I just put in the subject line? Put medicine woman and that's solution. Soultion. You should see my face. You should see my face. And if there's any other people, we will do that along the way. We have Crystal, Miss Crystal Allen, that would like to be in the duck race. And oh, yes, we got Cheesy Noodles that wants to be on the duck race. And we have Autumn. Have I ever told you I like to say Cheesy Noodles? just makes me chuckle, I swear. Oh, I can't even spell autumn right. What am I missing? Oh, I have the M. Okay, there we go. You've been listening on your TV? Oh, I'm a star. It's so weird, isn't it? Like once we got our TV working again because it was dying, so we ended up getting a different TV. And so I think it was Ayme that said, "Look, you're on the big screen." What? So I put myself on the big screen, like, holy crap, I made it to TV. That's how old I am. Okay, Lovealways. Oops, there goes. And Lovealways. We got a beautiful list of names here. That is awesome. That is fun. It is. It is. It makes me smile. It just, again, it's not just colors and different things, but like words, cheesy noodles. Some things it makes you, I don't know, incites happiness. Hmm. Remember, when you come on over to YouTube, make sure that you hit the thumbs up and you subscribe and hit the bell. Now, here is an interesting thing. After the show is done, come back. Come back if you want to win. If you want to win a chance to come on the show, you don't have to do video, just audio. And you can and how do you get your name in? Make comments on the video. Make comments on my reels because your name gets in a drawing. Okay. It's this chance to take it deeper. All right. So we had April Lynn, because it's an expedite. April Lynn's name goes in the drawing. Ayme names go in the drawing, but for the expedites. But she also gets to put her name in the PIFs because she keeps giving PIFs. So that means that her name gets into the drawing of the PIFs. Because we have an expedite from April Lynn, she's going to be our first read today, and we will go from there. Let me get this over here. And she says, whatever spirit wants, because she has dedicated to, I'm in charge. I'm going to be my 5%, and I'm going to watch. That must mean she's getting results, and they're lasting results. They're not just, they're not this belief results, and then it changes. You're starting to see your growth. What's going on with my phone? I have no idea. There we go. I'm not even sure why I went there. Um, let's see. Yes, I love it on me too. I just Spirit told me I was supposed to do it and I did it. Okay. What am I missing? Just, you sometimes you just feel you're not quite in alignment, so you just can't get ready. So as I'm connecting and doing all the things that I'd like to teach my tribal healers, one of the things I'm looking at is how there's ego. The first word is ego. In this case, that ego habits. So these are memorized ego habits. They're telling me they want me to have her pay attention to that. These were when she first came in the world. This is the collective. And I said the collective in her home. No, it was the collective in the world. So this case, we go back to what year were you born? You have to look at the year. And because where you live in the States, what was going on in that area, what was going on in the world, or in just the United States, because there was a typical a shockwave. So for me, July 23rd, just prior to that, when I was born in 1967, there was the Detroit riots. So this energy was boom, here it is, and it has a story with it, and the energy is there. My mother would tell me, she had told me that there was chaos inside the hospital room around that as she was giving birth. Yes, body went into a program. I caught it and changed in 5 minutes. Good job. Good job. So what we're going to do again, the ego says there's something there. Now, the more clues that they're giving me is that the time, I'm hearing belief systems too. So at the time of the birth, there was this deficiency that there was something that was not there that should have been. I don't know what that is. But I also feel like it was an invading thoughts. Like, why is your dad here? Or there's not enough nurses. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly how far this goes out because an echo of different things can occur. So right now, we just know that every part was being played out, and there's something to do with your parents and their actions. We don't need to know what it is, but what we do need to know is that there was always this energy of over concern that kind of left an imprint of, again, you downloaded the app of I'm supposed to be over concerned, or I'm supposed to feel what other people's over concerns are. Not necessarily I have to be over concerned, but again, now when you are picking up frequencies, you're picking up how you're supposed to be, or you're picking up how other people's are supposed to be, not necessarily yourself, but it's the engagement of the energy flow. So I'm looking at don't what? Don't using the word impending. It's like don't think that way, don't be that way, don't. So you have over deficiency, overwhelm, or I mean over concerned. My mom was pregnant before she was married. Scared. Does that have anything to do with it? A little bit. It's connected to that deficiency and over concern. Okay. Does that, yes, yes, yes. And it is the action, though. It's actions, appearance actions. Both or one? Um, it's the way they would display themselves, no matter what they were feeling inside. So I feel like maybe it's a mask or it's a what I have to show the world, what I have to show the world. Okay. So versus what I felt privately. What they're pointing out here, this has to do with a lot of building false realities. So they would tell themselves stories that were false. So it was a communication process of how they coped with what was going on. And the only way they could stay ahead of the fear was that they had to build false realities, whether that was real or not. Does that make sense? Because what I'm hearing is that you would constantly pick up the frequency of sour graping. So something good was supposed to happen and it happened to somebody else, and then you would have to sour grape in order to take care of that feeling. Now, this is, I feel, is something that you felt all along growing up, and you would like, where'd my happy go? And so sour graping then would go and say this. Now, when people sour grape around you, do you get defensive? How do you respond? That's what they want me to help you pay attention to. So let's say you're working and you're like 50 some years later, like, yeah, you're not doing that. But the signature of your mother is in the room and sour graping is being said because now I want to bite down. So there's a decision that is made, not in the now, but a long time ago. And the body's going, oh my God, it's recognizing it, seeing it. And after a while, we just lose that ability to tolerate. Yes, put on a happy face. Okay. Now I'm listening to, it's so weird. It's something going inside the cavity behind my breast. So it's like I want to form my spine like this, like it feels just like one side, like it's not even about the shoulder. It's something inside the body. So what are they referring to? So what's in there? Lung, heart, all this, lymph nodes. They said there is this the gallbladder energy on the right is there's a gallbladder meridian on the left. This gallbladder meridian on the left is saying that I'm supposed to hide my joy, because if I bring it up, they're going to do that sour graping. So I can't really share because I don't want that. So it's like I have to restrict my happiness, my joy, this, and that, because I don't want to hear that. Oh, that would make sense. Oh, April. Okay. Um, Let me just help you guys understand something. Just a little bit here. Because of the solar eclipse, the whole planet, the whole alignment, I feel like we've gone through the photon belt. I feel like all this new level of consciousness, we're in preschool. One of the things is that the things that drive you crazy. just listen what I'm talking about here. So I will watch people go, oh, look, they're buying ice cream again. Like there's a gesture in their rolling eyes that they learned this person so much that they're going, instead of pointing out the habit that they're doing, but the habit is as if to say it was wrong. Now that energy, I noticed in me, there's a program that was, why do you have to see it as bad? Why do you have to give a gesture? Why do you have to roll your eyes? Why do you have to, what makes that? Because your belief system is one thing and this belief system is another, and what makes one better than the other? Now I would constantly throughout my whole life in some form or another, you're going to have habits, you're going to be who you are, but when a person don't like it, you're under scrutiny, you're under like, oh, there they go again, and you're like, what? Stop it. Now that is the feeling I'm feeling. Do you understand what I'm talking about, Miss April Lynn? The body is done. It's like, I don't even want to listen to this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. But it's on a physical level. Yes, people have told me we are weird and we act a certain way. And the thing is we're considered that's bad. But you're hearing it more and your body is reacting. So you're going to start doing L1S, because the old program was to put a self-imposed limitation to give up, because that is how we did reward and punishments. That's how we did, people would easily influence into doing what we wanted. And we thought, no, we can't. And then we did what they wanted and everybody was happy. But this is very, very, very old school, old youthful thing that we did without knowing it. So L1S is going to be, it's not even about right or wrong. It's about how that energy influences, because that frequency was saying, I'm right. Not necessarily the person, but we're supposed to avoid being bad. So we have to avoid when somebody don't like something, we almost have to be embarrassed or ashamed or guilty, or we have to teach ourselves to hate what we like in order to not get that response. So it's in that snapshot of how you know that response. You're like, oh. So for me, it was like, why does that push my button? And in this case, again, I said, is there any more? And they go, no, just have her do L1S, because L1S is about small intestine. Small intestine is fire. Fire and small intestine and the heart, one's yin and one's yang, and they are together working. And so if the heart can't be love, then the small intestine will say, oh my God, I have to do all of this. And it's usually painful. Okay. Hey, Jeno, shoot, I'm getting home. Can I still sign up for a reading for Ellie? Yes, yes, you certainly can. Yeah, whatever you want it to be. It'll come through and you're all good. So Miss April Lynn, she said, yes, experience one person's response that didn't like us so we can change so they don't say anything to us. Exactly. See, and this is where the detail comes in, because the first time we had it, we're just shocked, but we're like, did that just happen? So it's a gall. That's why it wants to fall under gallbladder on the left side. But to heal it, we have to heal it where the heart sits. And that usually is not the heart directly. In this case, they're saying small intestine. So that would be definitely left wrist, first position, soft. And so when you are, so she's going to be hitting these different levels. So she'll look at this one, she'll heal it out, and then another test will come up and she'll see where she is on the energy. It will not feel this, it'll feel like it's the same, but it's actually not. They said, again, go back to L1S, because it's like with L1S, it's like, as soon as you hear it, you're like, you hear it, the gallbladder kicks in, and all of a sudden you feel lost or you feel vulnerable. And then you hear it again, and another time's gone by, and you feel deserted, or you feel like, oh my God, why do I love them, but they don't love me? So a story gets to be built on this. And so when she gets to the point where she has to give up on herself before she does the healing and comes, but you have to heal backwards. You have to heal these different types of layers. And I have been doing deeper studies that has to do with music, that has to do with how our musical notes in our body does have different notes, frequencies, majors and minors, and how they all play an orchestra in the body just with one note. And so that's kind of like a little example there. Okay, so Miss April Lynn, that's a good one. So happy healing. I hold that space for you. And Jenno, yep, send it along. I'm going to That's not what I wanted. I'm in the wrong page. Oh, there it is. So again, if you are in YouTube, give me the likes. Hit the subscribe and follow. And ring that bell. Do what you got to do. Something just came through. I don't know what it is. That was bizarre. When you have these little hidden messages come up and you're like, what is this? Gotcha. Oh, I see. So you're going to be coming on? That's awesome. That looks like. It looks like. Oh, that's awesome. Let me. Yeah, and because it's layers, it doesn't have to be like in the dread state either. Because once you heal that and then spirit starts to do that healthy alignment, you're going to start noticing that you're creating steps to climb, or because you're healing backwards, you are starting to this is a wonderful course, but it's the competency course. And so what happens is that when you have worked and experienced, you've mastered that experience, you'll eventually become unconscious, but you've mastered it. The problem is that instead of learning how to do piano and you're like, well, how do you do it so well? You're a prodigy, you're gifted, and you're like, I don't know. We do this with hell. But if we were like, I don't know, yes, learn to know. And then what happens, you'll start to heal backwards because you're going to expose it to yourself. Oh my God, I can see how I did it. I can see, yeah, I'm going to let this go. And you're going to learn to heal it out. Thank you for all the fours. Thank you for all the fours. What are ones, twos, threes, and fours? I know that like you have one that I can't remember all how they go. So some, it's like you like it. I think that's a one. Who remembers the list? I think four is love. Um, but yes, thank you for the numbers. Or you can even just say I love you, 143. That's good. Okay, so the next person, because they did an expedite, her name, Jennifer Sheik, is going to be get put into the drawing. I'm going to go get the link. Something's telling me I need to wait just a moment or two, so I will do just that. What I wouldn't mind, this is where I wish I could have a commercial break. This is where I wish I could have a commercial break. Oh, thank you, the 143. So yes, this is where, in a way, I wish that I don't think my hubby's out there, so I could use some hot water for. I just have a little bit of like tea in here, and I wouldn't mind having it a little warm, but that's okay. Do we have time? I'm gonna know. I gotta find out where the screen. So you want me to give you a few more minutes? Is that what I'm feeling, or what? Because I can do the duck race, slip that in. What do you think? She's not there right yet, then maybe I should slip it in. We have a few more people in the room. Just remember to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and that is awesome. Lots of love. Okay. Lots of love. I'm gonna start pulling up the duck race just in case. Start getting that prepared. Here we go. Get some names. We got a lot of names on the list, which is great. Like to see that real quick. Oopsie. Who do we got? We got Katie. Let me know you're here so I can keep your name on the list. Angela. We have Sarah. And we have Tamara, Crystal, cheesy noodles. We have Autumn, and we have Love. Oh, oops, wrong. We did it again. And then we have Love Always. Okay, if you're here, then your name gets to stay on the list. I see that Katie has said yes. That's awesome. Oh, you okay? All right. So what do I got here? Why am I? Oh, I see what I did. Okay, here's your list, and we're gonna hit 20 seconds, and we are. And if you got, I'm gonna give. Oh, Morgan, is Morgan here? Morgan. All right, I'm gonna put Morgan on the list. Hi, babe. Let me add her to the list. Miss Morgan. How's your job going? Hopefully good. Nah, it's no problem. I'm glad to see you, babe. Okay. Oh, and I'll look like we're naked. Hold on, I gotta put some clothes on you guys. Okay, there you go. Costumes. Give me just about 2 seconds here. Look at that. We got Crystal, we got cheesy noodles, we have Morgan, we have, let's see, we have Tamara, Love Always. Hey, I think we're here. Katie too. Yes. Excellent. Give me just 1 second. Let me take care of this real quick. Ah. Hey, I didn't think I was gonna do it so quickly, but I did it. Okay. Okay. So real quick, breathe. That's what we're gonna do. Hop into this room, bring up this thing. Let's go in to do this. My brain remembers. So everybody has a cute little costume, except for I think Morgan and Sarah. I think yeah, going to be doing the streak or au naturel. But we are going to hit start. We have a pirate. We have a Viking. Somebody that has it might be Zorro, but Morgan is all natural. She's up. Oh nope, Tamara's coming. Nope, Morgan, Katie, Morgan, Tamara, Morgan, Katie. It's like Katie's got it. Katie. All right, so let's get her there. And like I said, we have 4 pips and all these wonderful people. Let's shuffle around and get some more clothes. Oh, we have some really cool costumes. Cheesy noodles. I think you're a doctor. Crystal, you're a unicorn. And what do we got? A clown and a graduate. And it looks like Morgan's wearing a graduate. Love Always has got Superman costume, and then Tamara's a little boy. Angela's coming up. Angela is coming forward. Cheesy noodles. Tamara, cheesy noodles. Cheesy noodles. She's going to do it. Cheesy noodles it is. Okay, we'll remove her from the list, and we have cheesy noodles. That is the second person. All righty. We got some beautiful costumes. I'm just going to leave that as is, and we are going to hit start. Who is going to be our third person? I love you all. I root for you all, but hey, we'll see how you guys little paddle your little feet. We have Christo. Oh, here comes Tamara. Tamara's like, no, I'm gonna push it. I'm pushing it. She's pushing it. And it looks like Tamara. So congratulations to Tamara. Here we go. We're gonna change the costumes though. Oh, those look fun. Oh, it's too many people. Ooh. Angela look like Trump. Oh, that's just funny. All right, we're just gonna do that. All right, what do we got here? We have Sarah. Looks like a detective. Love always has got no clues. We have Trump. We have a little monster. Oh, green monster. Green monster. No, Morgan. And Autumn is a strawberry and Crystal. Love always is pushing right ahead. Oh, great effort by everybody. So all Love always has won. All right, that is all we have for our PIFs. And we thank Ayme for donating that. Um, so, you know, anybody else wants to donate for PIFs, we can do all those things. That is awesome. And we appreciate every opportunity that people have given money for you. And it's a pay it forward. Just remember, if you received a pay it forward, you send some love out and pay that forward too, so we can keep this going. Love space to keep going around and around and around. Let's go get our expedite, which is Miss Jen O. Grab a hold of, there she is. Oh, apparently I already have it in place. Life choices. We are going to get that. Yes. So let me just take care of this. And then after that, we will do the readings. Remember, Katie, Cheesy News is Tamara, and Love Always. All righty. What can we learn and heal and share with this? Now, remember, I do use Zoom. So if you have Zoom, then we can do it. Come on in. It's always a good thing. Didn't you love the costumes? They're so cute. I love how they do it. And it's a safer bet because then the music doesn't have to be censored. It's just a quacking like that. Yeah, if you won, stick around. Don't disappear because, yeah, we'll do just that. Did you want me to come on? My laptop is not working. You're on my, yeah. Oh, well, if you can get on your cell, then come on in because you can hold the cell phone in two different directions, I believe. I would love you to come in. That's what you paid for. Or you can just do voice. It's up to you. Usually with it, when you send more money, it usually means we can really get into the nitty and the gritty because we're going to have all of these communications. That makes it easier. Is it possible to feel half aware in a dream? Absolutely. I think I did last night, but it didn't last. I want to experience being able to control it if that's possible. Yes, lucid dreaming. There are some good books. I don't remember which ones that I can recommend because I don't remember the name of them. But there is, when you really know that you hone in on it, you can do it. Okay. It's practice, just like using your intuition. I don't uh, I don't know how to explain it, but I think my husband did it the other day. He's like, I was aware of my dream, but it's like not only aware, but I was actually able to, I think he said he was able to tweak something in his dream, which changed how the dream was. That's weird that you can't get into your cell with your cell phone. It must be an iPhone. Is it an iPhone? Is that the problem? Because if it's an iPhone, then you still can do it. I just have to send you the numbers and then you just go in and you say log into a meeting. It doesn't like to use direct link for some reason. There is a such place, and I teach about dream course, and one of the dream courses, Morgan, is that you can do it in twilight. If you are just the moment you're about ready to fall asleep and the moment you're about ready to wake is when your brain is at a very special place. It just can't hypnagogic state, and which allows you to be able to change the way you create your reality. So if you can insert love or heart brain balance or things like this, you can change your world because you're inserting a higher frequency that allows you to shift that perception because it starts to take and change your belief system. But you can do that, and it's a great state to be. Um, so I always make sure I have a lot of heart-brain coherence. Okay, I will go ahead and get you the number because sometimes that usually is the problem. So I'm just going to send you the number to come in. And so, and that means you're just going to go and log in. I can't remember the link unless one of my moderators can tell me that link, but I can look it up, I suppose. Thank you, Spirit, because there's always a way around this. Oh, so we want, it is not that, it is. There we go. All right, I'll send you the 2 things or 3 things that you need as soon as it actually functions. Why is it not functioning? New. Slow as. That's weird. Oh, they've got all these different ways. Well, normally it says here, and then it says no, good question. Normally it's just one link. Why am I having? All right, thank you, Spirit. We're going to help. Genesik, I think your energy is a little off. I think that if you could just sit and kind of breathe and just kind of like put your arms out like this, we want to get the brain in balance because I think part of you has been rushing and we need to bring you back home. So do this, cross your ankles, sit there and breathe. We got to get you into the healthy alignment state so that we can actually get this this link, which that you must have agreed because all of a sudden now what I'm looking for has just completely popped in. That's what I wanted. So you're agreeing with it. This is awesome. It's a great, I love this. So far we are feeling that the brain needs to be balanced and there's always a will, there's a way. Okay, so Spirit has again, if you are doing this, you're going to notice that Spirit will have an answer. Just got to make sure I put in the right number. Okay, that's the first one. And then I'll give you the passcode so that you can get in. And there is that. So those are the 3 things that you need. And usually once you get that and put it in, you should be able to bypass because you have an iPhone. At least that was the rule back in the day, unless they changed it again. So while we're waiting for, I'm just going to go right to Katie real quick while we're waiting for her to get all that taken care of. So Miss Katie, it's about life choices, and it has a lot to do with, they said, okay, what you need to do is that when we look at how you got to get into the alignment with love for any life choice, a job, a relationship, your happiness, home life, anything. They said you have to come into the state of love. Now, they said the thing that could block it is when you start doing insecurities. So they want you to pay attention to, like, let's say, hey, Katie, come on in and let me see your face. And you're like, oh, and you don't realize that you have insecurities that pop up. You're going to hear excuses and your reasonings that are all going to shove you away from any of the life choices. This is just an example. And you have to pay attention to that. Once you start to pay attention that's happening, they want you to step in and say, I want you to do right wrist, third position, soft. And that is, you're going to nip it in the bud. Okay. Okay, so that means you want to put your hand like this. So if you are giving yourself excuses and reasonings that you can't leave your family because they're in that ego and that karmic and they keep pulling you through, and you finding that you can't, then there's probably an insecurity that happens inside, or I don't feel safe, or one of the successes is off. Start with R3S, okay, and sit there and begin to feel why you can't do it. Why haven't I done it? Ugh, why haven't I done it? Ugh, I know I want to. Ugh. And what will happen is just going to pull you out of that state. And once you've done that, then you can go ahead and start doing right wrist second position soft. And that will help ground you a little bit more, because the anxiety then says, oh, we can't, but that's not true either. So right wrist second position soft, it's like, okay, where is it sitting in me that I always have to do this? And that usually means that we're tapping in how the good girl syndrome, or how you always have to show up for family a very particular way. Okay. So you got this, you can do this. And we will see. Now, again, Jen is a little nervous. That's probably why this has happened. But just breathe and do and see what happens. I'm going to see if she's changed her circumstances. We'll find out. Not yet. That for. Oh, I got it. Okay. So when you're doing anything in life, you don't have to let your nerves get the best of you, because if your nerves are getting the best of you, that means you're just only remembering how you went through it before. You can nip this in the bud. You got this. So now we're going to just jump to cheesy noodles. I'm not, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Did it come through? Nope. Okay, so we're going to jump to cheesy noodles while I'm waiting. And cheesy noodles. I believe you're probably just going to say spirit choose. If not, let me know. But one thing I'm picking up, Miss Cheesy Noodles, which I love saying that, has to do with the fact that there is a silence. Do you like silence? Do you not like silence? What do you feel? Because there's something here, because what I'm getting is that this is a habit that, like, we have this energy field. One of these things is called the etheric body. And in that etheric body, it has a lot to do with how you're learning to hear your soul. So remember how you had that question earlier about how do you, it's a false belief, but why does it feel so real? They said there's something to do with the way your nerves and the timing is. So pay attention to how you feel like you can do something, and then all of a sudden it's the timing. Something doesn't seem like you can. There's something there. It's very subtle, but they said you are doing so exceptionally well. Just become aware that if it feels like it's right here, start to do what's called left wrist, third position soft. And I want you to feel, if it's here, start pulling it out and put it in the treasure chest. If you feel like it's inside, pull it out. Measure it so that you know when you're putting it out there that all of it gets put out. And then you're like, okay, measure it again. Yeah, it feels like a 10. You come back and there's a 2. Don't complain. Just say, oh, okay, so remove, transcend, let go. Go back in and pull it out. They want you to start to pull it out of the etheric, because the etheric part is what controls the body. And the body says, I don't want to do this anymore. And so you really are pulling it out of the roots before you go to the habit field and pull it out of the vending machine. Okay. So they said, and then when it comes time when you really are starting to hear it, you're going to start noticing the program is about right and wrong. If you can catch it and you're like, oh my God, I just said it was right or wrong, or I just had somebody say it was right or wrong. Don't look at the arguments of right and wrong, but it's right and wrong. So go left wrist, first position soft. And it's like, this is about right or wrong. This is about my question in my life about what is right or wrong. But you're going to start breaking it up, because you don't need that kind of soil around that seed. You don't even need the seed there in the first place, but you can do it. Oh, Autumn, nope, you didn't win, honey. Katie, Cheesy Noodles, Tamara, and Lovealways won. So next time, maybe. Next time. Thank you, Spirit. All right, give me a heads up. Are you able to get in or not? I don't see you there, so I think you might be having a little trouble. So it's okay. We were just going to see if we could balance you up and have you here. But if this is the way it's supposed to be, then so be it. Otherwise, we can do our best to communicate like this. Oh, look at that. Spirit made it happen. Check it out. I love how Spirit just says, nope, we've got this. We've got this. And see, and I held space for her. So this is amazing. This is amazing. I love how Spirit functions. I love how Spirit says, if you just do this healthy alignment, it'll go more in your favor. The universe will rearrange it to be in your favor. Yay! Oh, you did it, babes. You did it. Look at you. You didn't think you had the confidence, but now you bounced a little bit and you're like, got it. Oh, we got to get the mic though. Hold on. Let me hit this button for you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Hi.
I
You
might
did it.
need more. Yes, it kept kicking me out. So I'm like, what the heck?
Sometimes our energies will make it so we can't be in that healthy alignment. But I kept hearing your soul going, I got this. I'm doing healthy alignment. And so we just had to be a little patient and balance a little energy, and you did it. Oh,
Thank
I
you.
miss your house. I tell you, I miss you. I
Whoop.
miss you. Yeah. Yeah. We lived real close to each other, and we would go hang out and have dinner and lunch and just goof around and learn about spirituality. And anyway, I love this
Didn't
woman.
talk for hours, but anyways, I think I might have I think I got water in my computer, so it no longer works. I had
Oh,
Tom mess with it and I played stupid, and as I sat there I heard you got water on it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna tell him that.
oh no, you don't need to. But anyway, hey, Spirit, we'll fix it. Maybe you're supposed to get an upgrade, or maybe
Well, well, that's what I was trying. I'm like, well, shoot, you know what? I'm gonna try it again. I'm like, maybe it'll let me in. Nope, nope.
no.
So I said computer would work, but
Okay, but Spirit,
anyways.
hey, how can I help, hun?
Okay, well, for some reason, my little Miss Ellie's
Oh,
right paw is, I think, swollen. I've been gone all day, and she was limping when I left, but when I came back, Tom had been walking her, and she's pretty much walking on all three. And now I've given her some CBD. I may have to give her a little more, but she's got inflammation on that paw. So I would love to help her in any way I can because, um, you know, I don't like
all
to see
right.
my
So you got her just before I left. So how old is she?
Ellie is 10,
And 11, I think, because I've been
11.
here about 10 years. And so,
Oh, you know what? Actually, shoot, she has a birthday coming up in May. So actually she's going to be 11.
okay. So now they want to bring that up and might have just be because it's birthday, but there's something to do with a representation of love. Okay. So I'm looking at why do you need to see it this way? And there's this is habitual, is that the word you want? So I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look this word up just because it's important that we get it right. And then we're going to ask whether or not, okay, the reflection of this, because we're looking at how it is that Ellie is picking up frequencies of not just you, but the family, because it is a family home. So apathy is this lack of interest or concern or enthusiasm. And so if we look, I think it's a lack of interest. There's a transitioning going on in your home. And it's like, how do you know where to put your step? How do you know to do the right thing? How do you know? So there's a feeling that you have to put up with. So you said the clue was, um, she went for a walk and she could do on all threes. And yeah, she can do it, but there's a suffering process. It's like, well, you need to exercise. If you don't exercise, you're gonna get sick. And then, but because you can't exercise because you're hurt, but at the same time, so there's this changing, and there's some belief systems that are going on. Again, I'm looking at how Ellie is picking up that there's a vulnerability. So there's a transition in your home. Does anybody have fear of this transition? And not meaning death, but a transformation of identities, careers. Okay, all right. So is there fear in that house?
Not mine.
Okay, I didn't think it was. Okay, so it is
Yeah.
about the represent that the dogs are beautiful. They take out that energy, they take the negativity, and but the dog is trying to say is that there's a lot of suspicion of something, so a lot of suspicious energy as well. Now, because of this, it becomes very habitual that there's got to be some timid nature. Now, if there's this person that worries and all this and has suspicious, they're not timid, are they? They don't show that, correct?
Correct. Hmm.
Okay. So Ellie is showing that inside it's like, I want to shy away from this. I don't really want to be in this state, but I have no choice. I have no choice. So again, the dog is showing me that when it was walking, it's like I need to walk, but I don't want to walk. And as I'm walking, now I got to suffer. And so this painful transformation is that you're looking at the pain instead of letting that go to look at the future and knowing that you can have a better future. So the identity, the wrestling with the identity is like, I can't change my perception. I can't change my beliefs. I don't want to. But I have to. And so this is more going to be coming in more of a bitch slap. But yet at the same time, you're holding space. Now you came in, I think, to show me that you worried, which throws your energy off. And so you got to learn how to hold space for yourself, the dog, and the people in your household. But at the same time, your body started doing easily transformation because I don't want to do what again? Deal with another loss. So
No.
did you immediately go there that, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my Ellie?
Um, shit, I must have because I feel like I'm gonna cry. I don't like to see her suffering.
L1D. Let's just go there right now. L1D. Because you're showing me that you want to take care of immediately. You don't want this to build up. You don't want it to get in your kidneys. Kidneys represent a lot to do with fear, and that you would restrict yourself from wanting to go there. So if it feels like it's going to be a possibility and inevitability, it's going to be certain, the whole body then starts to want to run the wrong way. And so I think your body has an agreement with yourself and on a soul level that no, I don't want to do this. So just feel the pain, allow it because you know that it just welled up. Notice how it just came out of where? Your body? Where did it come from? Just know how it welled up. Kind of restricts your throat too, don't it?
Yeah, and we have a train up, and I can't have this stuff going on.
Okay. So just breathe, breathe, breathe. You said you had to clean something up?
No, we have a trip. We have a trip coming up,
Trip,
and I
trip.
cannot out of the country and worry about my animals.
Okay. So now as soon as you said that, your body said, I don't know if I really want to do this trip. So I'm going to go back to the idea is that you always made me feel like you were never going to get on a plane and fly anywhere. And I says, well, if you do, you can fly on over to Australia. I'd love to see you. And you laughed. You go, that's never going to happen. And then you pop up and say you're going to do this trip. And I'm like, you're not a plane. And you're like, yes. So I think in a way this goes back further how you don't really want to get on the plane. So it's not about afraid of flying. What is it that about flying that gets to you?
I don't like to be on a plane for a long time.
A
I
long
don't,
time. Now, notice how the body says, I don't feel confident. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel.
yeah.
Now that's what you're going to focus with your heart is that I can't be confident. So your body and you are trying to tell you about this trip. And so it has the roots that of firm belief that's trying to force a perception that you're not ready to see or that you're used to seeing. And so it's kind of like what happens with the archetype. The self sabotage card is coming up, and this is how we undermine ourselves sometimes because we have these different belief systems that sit there. But just feel how I can't be confident to being sitting there for hours on the plane. Okay, but I'm going to overcome this. No, we're going to hit it by the root. That's why you're here. You're like, well, see, there's another reason why I can't go because what if Ellie gets sick? Okay. And then I will have a miserable time. So you've jumped to the end of your conclusion down to the timeline saying, if I'm gone away, this that can happen. And then I'll have to worry about this. So you don't know how to be present to create a future. You are trying to prevent the future, even though you may want to do this. There's a part of you that your heart's not set on wanting to do it. Do you understand? Because you're like, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I
I
understand,
like by animals. I don't like to lead by animals.
right? Because you're a caregiver for animals. And
I
the
do
thing
not.
is, you had some really interesting experiences that you wish you wouldn't have had because their parents were away. You've had to deal with when an animal had been sick or dead or something, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want. And so you are going to run. That's more proof that says, oh, this is going to happen. So I think without realizing it, you're like, oh my God, Ellie is, getting older. I hear a lot of running to conclusions and fear and gathering these experiences that you got when you take care of other animals. But notice how it comes down to my heart, my heart, my heart. It's already crushed before I can't have, I am not allowed. Well, that's not the word. I
Don't
don't
want.
know how to be confident. I only know how to be crushed. So this is what I'm actually hearing. I only know how to be crushed. Okay, notice how that. So take your thumb real quick. And I just want, yeah, shake it off, but I want you to just kind of like pull and pull and pull and just kind of like pull that energy. If you have to, come up this way on your wrist towards your thumb and see if we can pull the energy. Because this is your lung. That's your lung. Okay. And right now, there's so much grief. I'm watching how this feels like it wants to cut off. I'm noticing how this wants to, it wants to do this. So you're going to come down real quick here, and you're going to put your hand across, and we're going to act like we got a magnet. We're going to go across that, and then when you're done, you're going to go under the thumb, and right there at the crick, you're going to push in and deeply penetrate it. Ooh. Okay, so we want to calm that down because the body said it already happened, and it hasn't happened. You're sitting here with me right now. Okay, Ellie is, where is she? You can see Ellie right there, and it hasn't happened, but all the experience you've borrowed from other dogs is what's in your head. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cover your right eye.
Oh, that's sore.
Yeah, we're gonna let that calm down a little bit. But now open up your eye, and I want you to imagine seeing only through the eye that's open all of the gathered proof of how something bad happened to a dog when the parent was away. Okay. Well, how high is that number? 10 being the worst. Okay. Remove, transcend, let go. Now swap over to the other eye. Okay. Now pull everything through that eye is open. We're looking at the same story. Is it still a 10? Is it higher or lower? Good, better, and different?
It feels lower. The other
Good. No,
one,
I want you to just take a moment and feel the difference. How can both eyes be so different? Just notice how much calmer this is. Remove,
yeah,
transcend, let go, swap over and to cover the other eye and look through. And again, only through that eye, looking at the same experience. What number is it now? And that eye.
maybe a
That,
9.
okay, but it's feeling different. Oh, can this be possible? It's okay to let it go because the body says, your heart says, yeah, we've got this. We want to be a healthy alignment, not the hell alignment. So remove, transcend, let go, swap over and swap eyes and breathe. Open that eye, look at it. How much more calmer is it? My goodness.
This one's much calmer.
Yeah, notice what it's doing to your body. It's like your brain, your body is like, whew,
Yeah.
you know, it's not certain. It's like, yeah, but it's not even, yeah, remove, transcend, let go, swap eyes again, get back over into the other eye and allow yourself to, oh, what is it now?
Only 7.
Yeah, notice the heart saying, the brain and the heart saying, do I really need to hold that pain? Remove, transcend, let go, swap eyes. Because you're right, your brain and your head is holding all the patterns that we've memorized. And the heart is saying, I can't fully be loved because I have this pattern. But the brain and the heart says that's not true. You're accessing it because every time you look, you notice the number is going more towards love. What number is it now?
The right one, I
Mm-hmm.
would say, is a 5 or 4.
Remove, transcend, let go, swap eyes again. And all we're doing is we're helping to change the way the brain sees. The brain has memorized this. So it has a picture. It's like, wait a minute, we have to keep this framework, but it's not true, says the heart. Okay. As you're looking at it, it's not even close to what you started with or your
No.
map. It's like remove, transcend, let go, swap eyes. So when we start to use the parameters of the way the eye sees, and that's the outskirts of it, we have one that says we had an experience. The other one is that we use our imagination. You had used fear, left brain, and your imagination in a very unhealthy way because you looked at the proof with your ego and your programs, and you created this notorious false reality
Yes.
for you. Because right now, again, look, where's Ellie?
Yep. She's on the
Okay,
couch.
remove,
Yep.
transcend, let go, swap eyes. And then your body's going, yeah, but she's not on the plane. Correct. She's not on the plane. You've taken trips before and Ellie's been there. You got 11 years worth of whatever you've done with Ellie.
Right.
There you go. There you go. And remove, transcend, let go, swap eyes again. Get back into how you thought you knew it. What's hanging in there? Is it a feeling? Is it a picture? Is it it's a somehow you know you know.
It's the thought of
Thought
the,
of. Okay, good.
the thought of when I went through the hell when I couldn't get a hold of the owners and I had to put the dog down.
Very
This is
good.
the healing. I've done
Okay.
the healing. I've transitioned it. I've done it. This one's like,
Good. Look at how she knows. She knows how beautiful. Now it is the construction. Notice she can't get out of her head and into her heart. Here, she's more of the wisdom. She doesn't have to go there. Remove, transcend, let go, swap over. Notice it is when you're like, oh my God, I got a very specific picture. And just notice it. Okay, let's just zip back over, remove, transcend, let go, swap over, back over to the other eye real quick. Look at that construction. Notice you're dropping farther into your heart. And you're going to healthy alignment, healthy alignment, healthy alignment. Ready? Remove, transcend, let go, swap over again. Begin to notice when you look at this, are you in your head or your heart? Heart gets you more of a healthy alignment with spirit's path.
this eye is the head.
Yeah. And notice that the number, what's the number?
I see Ellie's moving. Her legs are kicking a little bit. I don't know. My number is probably a 4.
Okay. Now, why do you want to keep this pain?
I don't.
Okay. So notice that you can breathe in and out right now and bring on the, so think of the bottom of your feet while you're doing this, while you're looking at me like that, and start
Uh-huh.
opening that up and sucking up the love, the healthy alignment energy. And you're going to say, thank you, spirit. And we're going to remove, transcend, let go, swap eyes now. And you're going to go back over here. How do you know that peacefulness? Tell me the best you can. What number is it? Is there any number left here?
I don't think so. I think that's a 0.
Very good. Now begin to, how do you know the peace? This is very important for your right brain to get it because your right brain has already sees the bigger picture, but you have forced your right brain to only see the left side of the brain, which is one conclusion. But now that you've opened this up, how do you know peace? How do you know that it's
I'm much
there's
calmer. I'm not
good,
spinning out.
right? And would you rather be calmer?
Yes.
Well, that's what you need to put in your brain. So remove, transcend, let go, swap hands again, and notice that you're in the other eye. What number is it now? And do you want to be in your head? Because as you breathe and suck energy up from your feet, you literally can start taking your awareness and putting your head into your heart. So now take your other hand and put it on your heart. Begin to notice your brain is going where your hand is, where your heart is. Do you really need to have those pictures? Your heart's saying no, but notice the eye. So if you're looking through the eye, what number do you have?
A 1.
Okay. You make a choice. Say, no, I don't need to do that. So you're going to take back your energy. It's a lot of yellow. Take back your energy, remove, transcend, let go, swap over, place your other hand over your heart, and just sit there for a moment and just say, thank you, Spirit, because now you are helping this organic matter to you with your 5% of saying, I can use my gift of awareness, my gift of a healthy of alignment. So we're going to remove, transcend, let go, swap over again, and tell me, what number is it now?
I don't
Good.
see it.
Good. As you start to remove, transcend, let your hands go. And what you're going to notice is that this is it. So when I first got over here, I used to have the program of my mother's, and I was going to get lost. And oh my God, it was fearful. And I would have panic attacks and all this other stuff. And then as I began to heal myself and tap it out, change it, I now live in the resolver. So I went out and I made the wrong turn, ended up in a wrong place, but I didn't get scared. I said, huh. Thank you, Spirit. 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 And then I didn't go there. And the next thing you know, Spirit says, well, you have a phone that's not the Google's not working, but you can go and open up a map and do old style to see where the road signs are to get you home. Or you can call your husband, he can guide you home. Or this, I had the or. I'm like, I had zero answers when I was in my hell. But when I healed it,
Mm-hmm.
I would just take a second. What kind of answers would you do? Because you learned from that experience. They
Mm-hmm.
can have your phone number. You can take care of anything can be taken care of. But
Mm-hmm.
why do you need to think that the worst has to happen? So then you can pull up, well, shit, Ellie's been watched by other people before. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what'd she do? Do the
She's fine.
same. Fine. You
Yeah.
can hold that too. And
Yeah.
if there's a worst case, spirit's going to take and have your back and help you. You do not have to go ballistic because your spirit is going to tell you more and more about what you need to do. Spirit will show you. Just like how you got on and you were like for certain, oh, well, I'll settle. No, go ahead. And are
Yeah.
you going to settle?
Well, when you said something about spinning out, automatically right then I started spinning out because yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking how deep this was. And I gotta ask one more thing that I think is holding in here. Um and my sister's coming to dog sit.
Okay.
Her roommate, who hasn't quite told her, and she's out of state right now, so she'll get on her, but maybe going to Hawaii for a wedding, and they have three cats there, and my sister won't leave the three cats there. I said, go ahead and bring the three cats here. Well, I'm thinking, I pendulumed it and said, who would they do better with, the neighbor or with the one with the three cats here? And I don't, I think it'd be stressful for them. So I think that is also sitting in there.
Okay.
Um,
So you want to change your decision.
well, I want to, yes, I want to change my decision of
Okay.
saying,
Okay. So it's not about them. Even though you're making it about them, it's about why can't you change your decision?
yeah, I mean, I think if she goes to Hawaii, then you know what, stay home, Karen, with the cats
There
until
you
the
go.
week so she gets home, and then come up here
Right.
with
So how spirit is giving you the answers already. Again, it's not about them. It's about you do have the answer, but you don't know if you can say what you want to say. So if you can just say, okay, thank you, spirit, what should I do? Not in an ego sense, but in a heart sense, you're going to get the answers, which you just started giving yourself.
yes, yeah,
See, the lie was I am excusing the reasons I can't change, I can't say anything, I can't do anything, I can't. Well, what you just realized it's not true. Well, I
yes,
already know. See, so now you're going to be following your heart even more. You can place your hand in your heart and communicate with your heart, and your heart will even tell you even more and more so. Do you understand? So
yes,
it is about saying thank you, Spirit, for the answer, not praying the problem, not getting caught up in the restrictions that I can't. No, it's not true.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
You're
Okay,
knowing.
so if Ellie is picking up on the situation that's going on in the house, um, that who she's very, very close to,
Right.
um,
Well, you don't have to see it as the worst case scenario.
how
She
can I
served
protect her of that?
purposes. Right, but she served more than two purposes, but one, so you could see it, the metaphysical hidden meanings. Two, you heal your stuff right now. And when you start to physically help her, you can realize that you can be confident that you're going to get the answer, but you haven't gotten to the stage that you felt confident. So every time you start to feel that you're not confident and you start spinning out, start doing L1D. Train that part of your brain that it doesn't have to go into that fear. When it comes to the fact that the dog picks it up, that's her job. That's her soul contract. You cannot disrupt what she chose to do because otherwise you create more karma for you and yourself. But if you see it, you can change your reality by predicting, oh my God, there she goes again. You can heal how you're predicting And when you can change that perception, again, go back to the heart, L1D, about, oh, there's no blame here. This is how you see it from your perspective. She has got just how she served you, she needs to serve him.
Yeah.
But if he can't see it, that is part of what they communicated. It's not your job to correct. But if you're over there predicting, oh shit, I'm going to heal this out because I don't need
Yeah.
to see this. And it's not even that I don't need to see this. I don't need to support that.
Yeah. I
Okay. I
got
don't
you.
need to judge that either. So it's
Right.
all right now. It's about the heart for you. Okay. All right. I love you. And thank you for
Thank
persisting
you.
with wanting
Thank
to hear.
you, Ellie. Thank you, Ellie, for getting
Before
me
you
there.
go, before you go, you have to get the wisdom. Do you want to go back to the way you felt before you came on?
No.
No. Okay. And so you're going to sit there and you're going to witness how good you feel. So tell me, how do you know there's a complete difference?
Oh my God, I'm not spazzing out. I'm not spiraling out. I'm not
Very good.
spiraling.
Right. And you notice your thoughts are being supportive instead of not supportive. You're learning to show up for yourself. You don't have to believe your own BS because it can drive you to hell, but you don't need to be there because, again, you're not on the plane. It's not already happening. You are sitting right here, and that adorable little dog is over there.
Yes, yes. And having the awareness of um jumping on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
exactly. You can get ahead of it. And I'm proud of you. Good job. You did the healing. You get the rewards. And just watch yourself. Do I need to go in fear? No. And the wisdom. Notice the wisdom. Shit, I didn't even know that these past experiences were stuck in my head and they
right.
control my reality. I don't
Yeah.
need that.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
job.
Thank you.
See? You
Thank you.
invested in yourself and you believed it was worth it. I love you, hon, and we'll talk to
Love
you
you,
later.
honey.
All right,
Thank you.
bye. I hope we all learned from that. I hope we were able to see a little bit further. Oh, good. Thor says, I just figured out how to chat on my phone with YouTube. Good job. Just giving you a heads up. Oh, Kassandra? Yes, she's still here. She gets a free reading. Absolutely. And your name will go into a drawing. Um, okay, that's up to so let me know, Kassandra. I do see that she's here. We can take care of that in a few minutes if you would like. I just want to know if Kassandra is here. And Katie said this created a huge shift. Thank you. Oops, I better go back up. She says it would be only makes sense to leave it all behind, moving away from. Oh, I see. That was her subject for allowing. Oh, back up further. She just worked through a healing, so she did it right then and there. We do love when you do take that advice. She says, the whole point was is that her reading says I've been thinking about leaving my karmic family behind, and then she started doing the healing. She said it made me cry doing points. I just love my dad a lot. I'm moving across the world soon. Anyways, everything else is karma. My path is traveling, so it makes sense. Then she says it would only make sense to leave it all behind, moving far away this year. So thank you. You're welcome for allowing me to see the integration. This has created a huge shift. Thank you. You timeline jumped. Yes, you did. Well, it was the last thing I was trying to hold back from uh, yes, the highest timeline, because we use its excuses and reasonings and they make sense, but they're not really meant to make sense. They're not meant to hold you back, really. Um, good, good. Good job, Katie, on that. That's wonderful. And so, hello, Kassandra. So because you been brought by a friend, I don't know how open you are to all this. And what did Thor say? She said something about getting a hold of you for her son, Angel. So this is what you want me to do is communicate about Angel, her son, her son. All right. So is he here? Is he there? Is he, what do you want? Tell me specific, a little bit more specific so that I know which connection I'm supposed to do. What do you need from me to help before I begin the reading? So that is for Kassandra. And make sure that the moderators do write down that April Thor has brought a friend. Okay. She does OMG. Excellent. She's seeing results. Okay. So, if she's, whoever wants to speak, that's good. So is the son alive or passed? I need to know this because when I start doing a reading from certain areas, I'm not always so certain because the soul just starts talking. Um, if okay, so he's like 8 years old and he throws things in class and needs to calm. Okay, so we're looking at this. So that's what I want to know. All right, so on a soul level, now that I know he's alive, what can we help happen? Um, there's a belief he's holding something and it really bothers him. Now, I don't know if I can translate it correctly, but he has a belief that he's a dirty boy or he's a naughty boy or he's something. And he holds this belief and it frustrates him because it's not true. I'm not. There's something there. There's another thing there. Now, as I'm looking, I hear a little bit more of these behaviors is because it's about being accused of something, like being accused. And it really irritates the heck out of him. And he can tell with the language that it's going to be at any moment now, they're going to say those words again, and then it's going to really bother me. And I can't let, it just, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to hear it. So now I'm going to say, can you tell me a little more? And they said, I just don't, I know that those are controlling words. I know. I says, well, why would they need to give you the controlling words? What was being shown before? So this, and it was, I can't help this energy. This energy is about acting mean. So what I'm looking at is around 6 years old, he felt very deficient about getting something. And I feel like in a way he was corrected in some form. Okay. Okay. So I feel like he was corrected at around 6 years old. And I'm trying to figure out it. The spirit is saying it hurt. His soul is saying it hurt. I said, what? That the conditioning. So he hears, and so does he? So have you ever keep accusing him? Does it ever? Does it the topic of your it's either a dirty boy or a naughty boy, or it could be both, but he can feel that energy. He feels energy and it's beginning to hurt. And I said, well, what really started at 6? Because he was corrected and he couldn't get you to give him a particular outcome. So I feel like something he wanted and he couldn't, no matter what he did, he couldn't get you or whoever to give him that feeling. So when you are like, I really want this, and your heart's set upon it and you don't get it, it starts to hurt. So then you will do self-preservation and you'll do things that you don't want to do. You want a particular outcome. So kids are notorious for really showing this by throwing tantrums, getting upset, and being hurt. But it's the peak heart, peak emotion that he's unable to change. What's happening is he keeps going into this over and over and over again. Okay. So it's like, so it's how he's memorized that loss, that pain, that deficiency. And it just makes his, like say, make the cup boil over, or I should say the tea kettle. Does he get upset? Does he get, because you said it says he throws things class and he needs to be calm for class. Now, is he, did the doctors classify him as anything, because label him in anything or any of that? That's what I want to know. So we can go a little bit further. And what I'm getting here is that he can't let go of something that he believes that he loves, even if it's not good for him. He don't quite get it. He just know that, oh, it feels like, even though it may be wrong, it feels right. Do you understand? It's like, oh, this outburst he has here has ever a lot to do with happens around 6 years old. There's something about an action. He got punished for, again, he keeps going in and keeps going, I don't like being accused. And now you always think this way of me, and I don't like this feeling. He gets violent. He has ADHD, possibly autism. Okay, that's what I needed to know. And all I can tell you now is that his on a deep source, deep issue, the deep energy of how many meridians are we looking at? 2 meridians and your sensory system. So he's got 2 meridians in the sensory systems. So the first meridian is his nerves. So it has to do with the way the bladder, and it is like self-justification, self-justification. And does people explain to him, constantly explaining to him? So has he always been violent, or what year did you feel that he began to get violent? Again, he goes into self-preservation because he wants a particular outcome that he can't get. So this is that peak of going, oh, I can't have it. Um, you can see this in adults. You can see this. So my experience is that there's people in their 30s that were all playing games, and all of a sudden they wanted to win this, and somebody else screwed it up for them, and but it wasn't true. They did something that they shouldn't have done in the game. But then it was they had put all of that online and it failed, and they didn't know how to cope, handle, and deal with it. So they got really violent. Okay. That's the peak energy I'm looking at. And they're saying for you that if you could give him something, because he's like, I can't do it again. I don't want to go back to that pain. I don't want to go back to that pain. So, and to him, because you're like, oh, yeah. And I said, does it have to do with, yeah, it's a failure to get. It's a failure to get. So the outside again, somebody is self-justifying to what? Hmm. Okay, so we know that it's the bladder and we know that it's the pericardium. So the nerves in the heart, the thing that protects the heart, the circulation, and all of this, the response. Those two are firing off because it's like I feel, yeah, I just can't go there again. All right, so what would you like them to do? And that is if you decide, I'm going to go a little longer. Um, it's called the deep source, and so we would do deep source and large intestine, which means you can do this right now because it's firing. So on the left hand, you come right there in the middle. It's not completely at the top. It's just like right here. And as I check this, it's like frozen. So the energy is not moving. Take your hand or a magnet and you can go palm, back of hand, palm, back of the hand, palm. He can even do it too. Yeah. Anyways, let him participate. Say, copy mom, copy her. And then when you're done, you're going to take your thumb and you're going to push in and you're going to deeply rub 30 times. And then you go over to the right, exact same thing. Use your hand as a magnet because it's also frozen. And then you push it in 30 times. Now, the other one that you're going to do, okay, gotcha, is it's going to the left hand. And here's the elbow, and it's just like two fingers. Two fingers. And you're going to put your finger there. Now, I'm going to ask, you don't have to use the magnet, but you got to push in and you need to rub. Now, he could see if he can do that. So you can touch both points at the same time and just kind of rub, or you can help in any form. And this is to take those two meridians and just kind of like, it's okay, it's calmed down. Okay. Then you have, like, I'm not doing that. So he has a rebel card of him. So somebody, it's like, not, I don't want to, no. Okay. With that, I want you to think not. Now, I would change the microbiome. So in his gut, his large intestine, is he getting enough probiotics? Is he getting enough prebiotics? Is he getting enough fiber? Is he getting talk to your doctor about all of that, or a naturopath or whoever it is, but it feels like the microbiome needs a little bit more nourishment because I'm not seeing the levels of supportive energy or supportive nutrition. So again, look at those as well as like fulvic acid, that's FULVIC acid, which is the trace minerals that you would find. But I feel like that could use a little bit more support. Okay. Now going into the next area, is that we're going to do the right hand. You're going to follow the thumb and the pointer fingers, and then you're going to slide forward. So the two bones, and then slide forward, and then you're going to push in and deep 3 times. Again, this is why we have it on YouTube, so you can watch it again and again and again. Right now, notice the time is sort of the timestamp. You will have a name with the timestamp so that you can see it a little bit more. Okay, and then after you've done this, so to keep really pointing out that the large intestine. Now, the only other thing that I would tell you to do is that if he's aware that he feels like he's being forced to do something he don't want to do, like, and this is the extreme thing. So when your child does something like don't look both ways across the street, and you got to get it in their head, right? It's going to get frustrating. It's going to get this, but it's coercing. Do this, do this. Ah, fine, fine. Okay. So when this happens, they're telling two things that are occurring. One is that I don't want to do this anymore. No, no, no. And the second one is that it's just like they don't have a choice. Okay. And the third one is that when you feel like he feels like he's being forced, coerced, manipulated, gaslit, he's like, I don't want to hear this again. No, I know it's coming. So the first one is R2D, right wrist, second position. That's R2. And your thumb goes in the second position. You push in nice and deep, create that letter C, safety, security, stability. That heel of the palm goes on the forehead, let the fingers drop. That is, no, 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 I can't do it again. The piece is gone. It's like, no. Okay, full rebel, full thing. Then when you go into, it's like, oh my God, this is what I have to do. I have to do, oh my God, it's like I had right wrist, first position, soft. And then the other one is when he feels completely forced and coerced, and you have to keep saying it to convince him, and all of a sudden he's like, fine. Okay, right wrist, second position, soft. Now, if you can't figure out how to do those, now keep doing OMG. You can even teach him to follow you to do FT. I am so angry. I'm so angry. Ah, ah, ah. Follow along. You can find this at my website. My moderator will put it up, and it's Medicine Woman's Soultion. That's SOULTION.weebly, WEBLY.com. Look under the healing tools, and you will see EFT. I like to do the full gamut because it includes the eyes and it includes the left brain, right brain with the humming and the counting. And you need all of that to start to shift. Okay. And again, you don't even have to use the phrase. You can just go, oh my God, ah, but it's how you know, but you got to learn to measure. Okay. She could do a proxy on him. And the thing is that if he is not willing, because he's under a certain age, she is the parent. Yes, you can say, I am such and such, and you do that 3 times. And then you can go ahead and start doing these healing tools on you based on how you know all of the things I just described. Get them down to 0, always measure. When you're done, you call yourself back and then you put your hand here and say your name. So like I would say, my name is Brenda Jean Power. I am 56. Lift off, do it again, and do it at least 3 to 10 times, getting yourself back. If to the point where it is too destructive and the 2 energies are too much, I would even do what's called peanut butter. You'll see that on my site as well. And that is to break the energy field so that you can start setting the tone that everything's safe and that it's whole and that it's more inviting for the child to go, oh, okay, instead of everybody being stressed. If you want to, you can even do it on him. So like if my husband is a little disappeared. Okay, no problem. So we will use this little gift that my mother made me. Okay. And so what, they can be laying down, they can be sitting up, but you can put your hand on their forehead. Okay. And you can be taking their little, right wrist And then you can be holding that point, whether it's soft or hard, and you can hold that for them. And they can be laying on the bed. They could be sitting in a chair. If they like that, they will want that. And then you can work on them that way. And see, and a lot of times people will just be like, and I'll say, can I touch you? And they'll say, and then it's usually a yes, and they won't fight with me, and I'll just hold those points and I'll stay there. And sometimes it could be up to 20 minutes. But all of a sudden, if you can get them to communicate with you, they'll tell you, I'm better. Or if you can get them to know how they know, use a certain type of language, whether it's color or number. And if they say it's there a little bit, stay a little longer. But if they're like, now, if they're just pushing your hand off, you have to respect that as well, because they may use that as their safety blanket. So you want to go at listening to themselves, their soul. So when you're working on yourself, and you're doing a proxy, you are sending that energy into the field, and the soul still gets to make the choice. Get this? Okay. So there's lots you can do for your loved one, your in the child, but getting them to balance themselves too. Wayne Cook is super important for a child. Cross crawl. Okay. So the right brain can communicate with the left, and the left can communicate with the right. Okay. Cross crawl. You can find these on my site. Right. And what it is the cross crawl will help balance that part of the brain. Now, there's other tools, lots of other tools. Now, but for him right now, it's the sound. And if he wanted to, you can go to the next step and go, you hear mom and dad always say things at you or whatever, and you don't like hearing it. And he's like, yeah. And then you can go, okay, copy me. And when you're listening just through that ear, what number is it? I don't like it. Okay, remove, transcend, let go. Swap ears and just listen through this one. You can begin to go back and forth with that manner, and it will come down. If you don't believe me, just watch the last one I just did with Jen O. And we did the eyes, but you can do every other part of you. Okay, they learned Wayne Cook. Wonderful. And when you're done, finger in the belly button, forehead, push in, lift up, seal in the healing. Okay, seal in the healing and help create that aura so that it doesn't have to be so stuck in and hurt. The aura needs to be able to feel that it's safe. And that is what we want to help the humans, the people we love, the avatar. Okay. Yes, I went over, and so thank you, Spirit. This is more of a big session, so I thank Spirit for gifting me this time to be able to do that for you. And so if you can just allow yourself to pay it forward in some form, just even saying thank you, Spirit, however you choose. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, any of this stuff can help. Now, let's see. That was the free reading. We are now on to Tamara and then Lovealways. Thank you very much for being patient and waiting, and I appreciate that. Is anybody else? Let me just double check. Very good. Okay. You are awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. Now, again, rewatch this as many times as you need. Take step by step. Learn to measure is going to be your biggest thing. But when if you're doubting, then just keep healing it out until you stop doubting. But there's a lot you can do. A lot. There's much more we can do. But at this point, this is all I can give you as far as a free reading. Okay. All right. Tamara. Let's see if there's Lovealways. Let's see if Tamara's here. I don't know on which device looking at. Give a second to everything catch up because a great lag does happen. I got to figure out why this lighting, or it's always fuzzy to me. And even though I've adjusted the camera or adjusted the zoom, it still has this, well, it looks clear here, but it doesn't look clear here. So I never know what gets put up. Thank you very much, Judy. So Judy gave you a timestamp, Kassandra. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just jump to Lovealways, and if Tamara shows up, then we will go ahead and give her a reading. Oh, I won't let you post hearts again. Thank you for spelling it out. That is some effort. I appreciate that. So, Miss Tamara, we will go and give you a reading for Tamara. Love always, and hopefully Tamara will show up. Okay. So, love always. So, I see a lot of stress. What is it you would like me to talk about? Because one of the things about the stress is other people's stress keeps invading your space, and without realizing it, you're getting tired of it. You're like, oh, yeah. And it's getting to you. It's getting to you. Does this make sense? Because what I'm hearing is that you're like, why don't you're awakening up enough where you're like, why don't anybody know how to self-soothe? Why is it that they always have to do this drama? Why is it that this is how they cope? Why? So there's a party that's waking up. Spirit's choosing. Yes, stepdad is very negative. Okay, when he speaks. Okay, so now get a little bit more direction. So notice that in her inner world, the outer world, is that they have to do this. Everything is negative. So this is where we have to do an and respect. This is who they want to be, but I don't really want to do that. So what is it that I really want? And that means that if it's getting to you that they talk negative, I would tell you to start clearing it out of your heart. Left wrist, first position deep. Okay. And you're like, oh, because you're beginning to what's called mirror neurons. Your brain only sees a mirror. So when somebody else does it, you may choose not to do it, but your body is saying that you're doing it and you haven't made it stop. So then everything you start to find out how negative you become by how they're negative. So it's like, okay. So you're going to go, oh, um, another one is that it's hard to be confident when they're in that space. You're going to go left wrist, first position deep, and notice how you can't be confident. You always have to have a crushed space. And like with having this relationship, and it's like, look at the twos. Look at that. Two, 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 two. This is Celsius. This is so you guys know that. So that's where you're supposed to be because you don't need to identify with that anymore. You are learning to master that you don't have to do this. Just so you know, if you take that number and you double it and add 30, then you can get more of a Fahrenheit, close proximity of what it is that my temperature is if you understand only Fahrenheit. And it's 1120 here. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so Tamara, has Tamara come back? Has Tamara gone? If not, if she doesn't come back in a few minutes, I will see if anybody else is here that was on the list. We will see. We will see. We still have one up. We'll give Tamara a few more minutes to appear, and if not, we will move on. Because I think she fell asleep too, so I'm just hoping that if Spirit's going to awake her or not. Hi, Abdul. How are you? If you would like a free reading, you can. That's up to you. So I'm just going through the list to take off a few names and see if anybody else is still here. Okay. Hi, Shirley. How are you? And if you're new here, I think you're not new. I think I know you. Yeah. Well, how are you? Yeah, 22. Two, two. Lots of twos. Okay. This lag, you never know exactly what you're supposed to say when you're supposed to say it. We have that one up for grab. And so if you want this last piff, and I have read you before, and you want a chance to get a reading and you don't have the money, then you can just say, put your name in for the piff. And I will, if I have to do a duck race just on this last piff, I will do that. Otherwise, because I don't know who's left. And I'm not sure who's still here in the room. So thank you, Spirit, for lining these wonderful people up like Shirley and Thor and Kassandra and Ayme and just allow yourself, Katie and Love, always allow yourself to line up to the healthy alignment because you have alignment to everything. It's what you focus on. But if you can learn to go, okay, I'm going to hold peace inside and I'm going to line up to something better. Okay, so I don't see anybody else asking. I'll give it another second or two, and if not, Thor has one. Double checking here. The favorite number is 22. Yeah, I like that number too. But I also like 11. I love 23. That's because it's my birthday number. All right, so Thor, you have won it. You have won it. All right, Miss Thor, here we go. Good job, good job, good job. You have a lot of spirits on the other side that are just like rooting for you and holding this space for you. And they're saying that it's time to overcome this old shyness. Now, if you, it's, they want you to, they're saying explore this word. And if I were to say, okay, the word is shy, and find your definition in your mind, what do you think it means? And if I were to say what is shy, it's nervous in the company of other people. Shy can be less than. Do you feel like you're less than? Do you think you're short of? Do you think that you, are you nervous in front of other people? Are you, you know, um, easily frightened of noise, movement, or opinions? Are you easily startled? Okay, that's a form of shy. If any of those words pop out at you, what they want you to begin to understand is that you knew this just prior to when somebody would gaslight you. And people would gaslight you to make them believe you're believed their reality because it was real to them. But they were like, no, you need no, there's no other way the world will look. You need to look this way. You're starting to get it that I don't want this. So what happens is that when people started to gaslight, you used to start shutting yourself down. That's part of your symptom. I want to get this done, but I know I'm going to get gaslit and they're going to shut me down. So I really don't know if I want to do that report or say it this way because it's going to be a battle and they're going to shut me down. I don't really want to shut down. I really don't want to. So your nerves are saying it's ready to start to take this out. So I said, where do you want her to begin? And they said, um, part of the symptom. And so when you go, I'm going to work on the symptom of how I can't get things done, is that you already have a preconceived notion that you're going to get rejected. And if you can think this, then you can go left wrist, second position, nice and soft. To be rejected. So your body's going, I know all these old programs. You're looking through your face, you're like, I can do this. And then all of a sudden the symptom comes in and the body goes, yeah, because we're going to be rejected. We already know this. So left wrist, second position soft. Okay. All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So we're going to move on to Ayme. I don't see any other person, so that means I can go. Oops, what's this? I can make sure I did this correctly. Oh, okay. I'm glad that she let me know. So we're going to wait just a few more minutes and then she'll be ready to roll. How is that? She'll be ready to roll. So it's not too bad in here. I like the 22s. So it's been a good day, a great weekend. Got a lot done, I think. Oh, it's been a good weekend. Always look for answers that have to do with resolving closure. Because when you look for answers to prove anything else, then you are going to set yourself up for more karma. Did you hear what I just said? So when you learn to say thank you therapy, or thank you spirit, you are moving yourself into what's called a healthy alignment instead of hell or just maybe. You're like the thing that's better for you. It's this or better. And when you allow yourself to just look for the answer, for closure and the healthy answer, not that you have to be right, because that's going to create more karma, more back and forth hellish experience, and to create a trauma drama state of mind. You got to decide what kind of life you want. Love you, Dr. B. Blessings to you and Alan. Oh, I'll definitely tell him that. You are welcome. So, all good here. Oh, Okay, she's back. Excellent. She said she is ready. She's ready. So I'm gonna go hop over and give her the link. We'll go from there. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the show today. Remember to give the thumbs up and make comments after the show. So, because when you give comments here, that's great. That helps out a lot. But after the show, make comments, ask questions, and maybe I can use it on the next show. I just was alerted about something that is very interesting. I'll have to look at that in just a moment. What is going on? Because I kind of took the weekend off, which means I ignored a few things. Which now Spirit is telling me there's something that I didn't see that I need to see. Hi there. Oh, okay, hold on. We'll get more aligned in just 1 second. Oh. Okay, I'll have to address that. Hi, you're not speaking. I can't hear you at all yet.
Hi.
There we go. Gotcha.
You were deep in contemplation, so I was not going to disrupt that.
Thank you. Yeah, I discovered what Spirit wanted. Somebody made a comment in one of my groups, and because I took the weekend off, I didn't see it. Oops. Nah, it's okay. Just give me one more second to look at it. I like to do. Somebody's asking for a reading that I've given them before. They're in a bad situation. Got to figure out how I'm going to do that, help that. Because I could use it as a teaching at the same time. Well, I'm just going to throw it up there and let Spirit hear it. If I have to do something during the show, that might be beneficial to everybody. Okay. Nice glasses. Those are the, those are the new.
I got for you pair actually.
Whoa. Whatever you're feeling. Hey, you got some computer lenses. Oh,
Well, these are the computer ones, and then I got ones that kind of look like my old computer ones as my regular ones, and then I got a really light pair, which make me look like an old grandma, so I'm not gonna wear those.
you just got them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, let me see. We're gonna find out. Now, is this her imagination? It looks like an old granny, or does the shape of it or anything? Because again, color, shape, all these things do affect the way we do.
It's not those.
Oh, Kassandra says I was right about my son's reading. Okay, go help help him get back in alignment. We're gonna find out if this is true.
I think they do.
I don't, which means I like those pair, but you have a picture with the shapes. Take a notice what part is it that's causing you to feel like you are different. Now, I can't see a thing, but the thing is that is it the shape? Is it
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's a shape, and my mother had silver ones just like those.
There you go. Now notice that you're prejudiced against those glasses, even though you bought them because without realizing that they remind you of your mom. But at the same time, it is, oh my God, I don't want to be reminded of that. We could do a healing on those lenses, or we can talk about what else you want to talk about.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So these glasses have a lot to do with reminding you that you're not stable.
Okay.
Okay. It's a really strong, meaning that those glasses reminded you of somebody you love. So love equals what? Unstable.
Unstable, pain.
Okay. Now she was a good mother. She did her best. But what I'm getting at is that it puts you in the state of longing. So do you need to put those on and all of a sudden knowing that you look in the mirror, or let's say you're doing your show and you're looking at yourself and you're going, without knowing it, you just kicked up the seed. It's going to start growing, not in a healthy way. It's like a weed. And you will be focusing more on that than on what the 5% you want to be. And they're saying that when you're ready, you can start noticing how you can't stop being fanatical that it didn't work. Okay, so we're going to have you do L1D. Let me explain a little bit more as you're doing this, because there's a part of you that is the little girl that could not get her particular outcome. Get it. and there's a seething that happens to be going on. Notice the peak of it. You got to get in there, because what I'm hearing is that whose fault is it, coming from the little girl? Whose fault is it that I can't have what I want? So I got to put myself in a state of longing. So you're going to notice how your heart is longing at the same time how you believe that you can't. And you are going to notice I got proof, and it's this. And that's how I know I didn't get my money's worth, or I didn't get I didn't get what I came for. I didn't get that satisfaction. Oof, you've been hiding this. She's ready to, I just heard a phrase, but I don't know exactly what it was.
That makes sense as to what happened all weekend.
Okay, so there was a theme that you had to go through so you can eventually get to the peak. I said, did you ever reach the peak? They go, nah, she got up to a 7, but yeah, you were supposed to notice this arrested development. My question is, when was your mother's there was an event this month?
Her birthday is the 24th, but
Days.
yeah, that would be her birthday. And then a
Three.
month from now on the 28th is when she passed. May
Okay.
28th.
So you have a lot of investment with time.
Mm-hmm.
So you invest a lot of time in the location to identify you. So you really look at your experiences and you weigh them. You weigh them. You understand? Let me tell you a little bit more what I mean. This happened on this day, and I'm going to have to remind myself, oh, here it is again. And I can showing that I can't let it go. And here it is again, and I can't let it go. Just like when you looked at my mom's death date. Oh my God, this is when she died. Hi, mom. Da, 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 da. You have to do all the celebrations. You got to keep this up. And every year, oh my God, da, 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 da. And you have been doing a lot of healing on a certain level. Are you still doing that with your mom as far as, oh, I got to make sure I have this, all this wonderful thing of communicating and telling everybody about her and letting her know, and or have you all of a sudden noticed that, oh, the day's gone?
It's more, oh, the day is already gone.
And do you beat yourself up, have remorse that you didn't?
No.
You've grown.
Mm-hmm.
This part you haven't. The death date or the birth date, or there's something here. There's something here. And again, you're still living in the household you grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
This goes with the note, the musical note, C sharp. So C sharp is this pitch that C is about your physical form, about whether you can move forward or not move forward. So have you been challenging yourself that you know that you are mean as you grow? Do you still want to live in that house for the rest of your life? Yes or no?
No.
And have you noticed that you are another year has gone by and you're still in that house? Yes or no?
Yes.
And how do you not like that part where all of a sudden it's like it's the same story?
It, yeah, it's time.
Okay. Now begin again and notice that I can't because, look for excuse and reason. I can't because. And the reason that I'm asking you to do this, and I want you to hold L3S, is because there is this picture that you build, these false realities, these I got insecurity, I got insanity, I got because you were so controlled about how to create your world. That person that took your pen and started writing it, is that they're gone. Every now and then you pick up your pen, and every now and again you're like, somebody take it quick. And you haven't developed how to pick up your pen to do this next physical thing. So this is part of your growth. Now, you're not going to like what I've got to say, but you're going to need to know how to provide money to create a life. You're going to need to know how to provide your body to provide the time to do stuff that either you do or you don't like to provide a life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were you taught to be afraid about there?
Yeah.
All right, now that means we have a lot of belief systems that make your perceptions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe in and out. And what is the first belief that comes up that could be your mother sitting at the table? Remember tribal? We have the table. Who's sitting at your table? What would your mom or dad say that would make you think that you couldn't do the living out there like everybody else does? Like if you go to work, if you were to, are you supposed to hate your job because you watch them hate their job?
I'm hearing not supposed to.
Okay, so notice that it is not supposed to. Now, Ayme is in a state where she's allowing herself to be in her seventh plane, listening from her spiritual point of view to hear and let the child part of her have that voice. What age are you when you look and you hear not supposed to?
4.
Now, your 4-year-old is not going to be logical, doesn't have the ability at that point, but it had come to the conclusion that if I go out there, I'm not supposed to because I would be, am I going to get in trouble? Going to get punished? Am I going to get grounded? What can't you?
Can get in trouble.
All right. So how does she know she's going to get in trouble? What is it? Abuse or disappointment?
Switch.
Okay. So notice that you're going to get the switch. Now, what is it? 4 years old, you're out on your own. Is this when you were started walking to grandma's house? Or what is it? What mean you're not supposed to do on your own at 4 years old? What did you do?
Go across the street.
Okay, so you're not supposed to cross the street or go across the street. And that means if what happens? What was the fear that could happen if you cross that street?
I might get run over by a car.
So you're going to get hurt, run over, and you're going to get hurt. Are you going to get kidnapped?
No.
No, it wasn't about that. It was just about that you're going to get hit
Mm-hmm.
and die, not hurt.
Yeah.
So you had could feel that if I go across the street, I'm going to die. If I go out there, I'm not supposed to because I can die, will die, or I'm compared to someone that did die.
I'm sure that it was being compared to my sister and my brother.
Okay. And the thing is you've already experienced not with your sister, but with your brother, because that was your real lifetime moment around 7 years old. This is probably stacking on the ideas that if you go out there. Did you feel that when you're little, um, the brother is saying something right now that it's like, oh, he got sick because he was out there, he was exposed, something caused it. So what kind of belief, listen, that would be about what caused his heart that way?
Um, it was made backwards.
Okay. So what does the 4-year-old think when it hears that it was made backwards? And it won't be logical. Did somebody make it backwards?
I don't think I knew that until I was older.
Okay. So there's some type of logic that when you heard it, it could be the heart's made backwards. Okay. So remember that book, these books that people would write and
Oh,
they,
the one with the kid with the yeah.
okay, so
Um,
they took it seriously. Oh, your mom so mad her head could blow off. My mother's head. Oh God, that would be scary. Cat got your tongue. Oh my God, that would be scary. Literally a cat taking the tongue. So I feel that your little took it literally about something that they had said. And they would say it more than one time because they would make sure you felt that you were not capable. You are deficient. You are not capable. And I feel like you were looking and listening to your brother, and they told him you couldn't do things because you're not capable. Do you understand?
mm-hmm.
And the simplest things of going out and playing or whatever, you're not capable. And you would sit there in that energy field that he would always get a not, you're not capable. You just assumed it was yours because you got the same kind of lectures. You're not capable. What happens is that you totally believe in deficiency based on the fact that, yeah, your brother couldn't do certain things because of his heart, but it was deficient. And his heart was deficient and that he was deficient and that meant he was not capable. How much did you identify as your brother?
A lot.
He was your love, the greatest love. He was your God. He was yours. He
He's
was
my
your
hero.
hero. He was your protector. He was, he's sick, but good God, he was there. And then you watched him die. So it's true that if he goes out there and does things that he's not capable of, you could die. Can you see how the logic of this little kid starts to grow and to look around and okay, remember how Genosika was like, oh my God, if I go here, do this, that, my dog's gonna die. And I'm like, stop, look, is the dog dead? No. You went on other vacations. Dog's still alive. Yes. So why can't you hold that same space, right? So in your mind, there's a part of you that needs to help your 4-year-old to take that belief that's creating this perception and say, it's not true. And here's the thing. Now I'm watching an older part of you going, yeah, but I went out and I got this job, that job, and all I got was, I didn't really want to do it, but I did them anyway because you're supposed to. And yet all I got was backlash. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now notice again, it's a form of punishment. I cross the street. Why didn't they want you to work? Did they think you weren't capable? Because you said they had you on ADHD medicine, that they had you on depressive medicine, they had you on this medicine, they had you on this medicine because there's something wrong with you. Clearly,
Yeah, there was always
they
something
didn't
wrong
believe
with
in you
me.
in some form. So why didn't they believe that you could do this job? Because to me, I don't ever see that. I've never seen that in you. I've always seen this person that's whole. Not just because I'm holding that space, but you've never given me any reason to think otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what perception does your little girl feel is true? That's not true, but it has to do with leaving that house and to creating a physical life for yourself. When you went to work at what Walmart or wherever it is, you knew that you're supposed to talk drama and trauma all the time because that's what the language was. But what fears or conversations that were negative in nature and pessimistic in nature was the topic when you would go out and work and come home? What do you remember?
It's just it traumas and dramas, and life was supposed to be hellish and all of these things, and
But yet you did it, but you fought against it because there's a part of you like, well, I don't want to do it because one, I didn't like how work took away my parents. Two, my mother didn't like work and my father didn't like work, and so I shouldn't like work. But there's a third thing that I can see that has something to do with something's gonna happen to you. Oh, she's not strong enough when she's gonna get yelled at from the boss, or she's not. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I understand she taught you that you always have to have a mother to do the job. But I've seen great things come from you. Like you could go to being a total assistant in a big office and have it done 2 seconds before they walk in the door. You have everything done for the week. I mean, do you understand? I know how good you are. So, what and why do you have to hide it? What and why? Again, this is not going to be logical for her. So what comes out is sometimes it's going to be like spirit saying, well, if she did it, I would give her one word at a time so we could create a story. And so I said, well, communicate through me since I'm not helping. Is that one is grudges, two has to do with tattling, three, it has to do with a hidden story, four, it has to do with feeling small. So if I were to go and, whoops, write down feeling small, tattling, grudges, and what was the other one? Hidden story. So if I look at this and I say, does this make a major? It makes a minor. And this is basically F minor. So if I look at this, F minor, then this has to do with the stories of. I noticed that your enjoyment is in the conversation of social skills of tattling. So, were you ever a tattler?
Mm-hmm.
So, there was that joy. And you are supposed to hold grudges because that's what people do. Did your parents hold grudges?
Oh, my dad did.
And then there is the feeling of small, like this is like when you've tattled or you've done this, somebody has to correct you.
Mm-hmm.
So you always had to be judged. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm looking at that and it has to do with the hidden story, and I'm looking at F, or I should say F, is it F sharp? F, no, it's just F. Then it is how much. Uh, Looking at the word gaslight. You were controlled by gaslighting, but you control yourself by gaslighting you into believing a particular story that you are to remain helpless. It's not even about deficiency as much about my nerves are saying I have to be helpless. What great rewards did you get? Is the other side of the coin. So you have a rewards for being helpless. Now, what would you have learned from your brother? Because he had to be helpless. He had a heart condition.
Attention.
What is the main thing that you craved that you didn't get ever since you were abandoned?
Attention.
Now we're going to look at how you, when you don't get attention, you may have to go into self-preservation and have a meltdown. But you learned that didn't work, right?
I did.
Yes, passy time. Yeah, gotcha. So notice that there are great rewards, and holy shit, if I act this way as a child, it won't make you, you get older, you're like a little bit more cautious. I know I'm not supposed to act that way, so I won't. I could be more devious or I could do this. But notice how the child was like, you've got something of mine. I know you're lying. You may not even think that. You would just know it exists. It exists. I've got to throw a tantrum. It exists. Don't tell me. You know you're getting gaslit. As they're saying, oh, your brother's got it. He needed it more than you, blah, blah, blah. You're like, so you don't know about travel time, distance, and this and that. You're like, then get it back from him. It's as if your brain is saying he's standing right next to you, even though he's not. Take it back. Give it to me. You guys have it. You are stuck. We're looking for that peak point. Okay, so notice that attention gave you attention. Notice what you said to me the other day, but it was supposed to get attention and you didn't get attention.
No, it didn't.
It didn't work.
Mm-mm.
You tried to do it through spirituality, but it didn't work.
Mm-mm.
Notice how it's not working anymore. Who else have you talked to? Who else have you done? How else? You're losing the fizzle on how it worked so well as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is saying, no, 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 but I got my answer. I can get attention. I can get attention. I can get rewards. Attention. I can get, if it doesn't work this way, I can get to attention. So where are you at? You got to heal out the fact that you're going to die if you don't get attention.
I just heard a 4, but I don't believe that.
When I said the word die, when you go out to work, you're going to be just another thing. You're not going to get any attention. So why the fuck should you work? because when you were working, you didn't get attention. When you found some problems in your communicating, you didn't get any attention. And the attention that you only could get is if you were in a trauma and drama and you gathered minions, but then you couldn't get any attention from that because people are like, yeah, well, I got my own shitty world. You're not going to get much from the world. So you're looking for a job that gives you attention. Yes, no? It feels good. It feels safe, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you're doing what you like and not what you have to.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of skipping the have to. But your physical body has been saying, no, you can't just do because it's easy, like the drink you're doing, and you're like, but it doesn't work. So you're like, I'm not doing that anymore. So you're finding things that are supposed to work, or they did, and shit, can't use this as any. So you're discovering deeper. So your big thing is it not only are you noticing that you're not really about deficient anymore, because when you didn't get attention, you felt deficient.
The littles did, but it was like, yeah, no.
Okay, so now you have to go to the deeper root of the root, and that is the peak. I didn't get attention, and I'm going to throw a tantrum, and I'm going to, but then I got great rewards from throwing these pitches. So what do you think we need our whole next homework is on? Ooh, 122. Oh, I missed it all, but yeah, there was a lot of twos there, wasn't there?
Getting to the the deepest root of needing attention.
Right. And the thing is you're not a needy person like we were taught to be.
Mm-mm.
So attention, everything needs to be redefined. I mean, are you really getting rewards for attention? Or how you didn't get attention and what you would use to get attention? That's not even working anymore.
Mm-mm.
So your subject of attention is now coming up. Who's going to run the show?
AY.
Good. And it's not just you're hearing what they're saying and you're not following, which is good. But what they're really saying is, this is what I sound like when I don't get attention. This is what I believe. This is what I fear. This is what I cope with. This is how I cope. So you're looking at how the child coped. And you were saying on your walk, I just swallowed wrong. And now I got to clear my throat. Why? What truth am I not speaking? And if the truth is what we just said, to your own self to be true, is that you are getting attention, but do you need the process of how you process out that you didn't get attention as your truth? Are you supposed to just swallow and take it?
No.
No, no. So the 4-year-old needs you to love it, not punish it, but love it. Now, it wants to know how much it can get away with
Mm-hmm.
because it had that incredible experience that I got my way, man. And there's a lot of kids out there that don't get their way. And so they only know how to do is turn to violence because it's like they can't make something stop. So in some cases, it could drive them crazy. So how is not getting attention drive you crazy?
That's the way that love was shown.
Very good. Very good. So notice that the point you're holding is splatter. And so your nerves are saying, well, we can't let new stuff in because we're supposed to have this habitual fear. What habitual fear are you having with I'm not getting attention? What happens when you don't get attention? What is the most fearful thing that you have convinced yourself as a kid
Oh, wow. I just saw it was like he didn't get attention, that's why he died. Holy crap. Wow.
Hey, Poland, measure that now. Your whole body, your whole inside, your core even just shook. So you have a little earthquake that you had go on.
Uh-huh.
Those of you who wonder what I'm doing, I'm trying to figure out what is my watch picking up. There's blue and there's red. And I'm like, there's no blue in front of me.
It's seeing the Phoenix.
Yeah, that's me. There it is. That's it. That's me. And that's a reflection of that. So what you just told yourself, you need to rise. Now we can have these type of spiritual intellectual conversations while she's using her hand on her head so that she can break the pattern instead of rerouting it and creating that. Because when you put it in and you think and think and think without a healing tool, you fire and wire, and it ends up being this mass of nerves. That is, if you think about how each plant and tree have root system that is about a communication system from everything. So I know if I tell one tree that I love it, it can go through all the rest of the trees, and there will be this communication process that can really just set off these signals. So this is what happens in the body. If we use a healing tool, we can break down the chemical peptides, stop sending that old signal, which means we'll eventually change the BS, which then can change the perception. All right, so what number are you?
A half.
So notice how your remorse. So go to R1D and feel that remorse. I didn't get what I wanted. Time and effort, I do this and that, and I'm highly disappointed.
I didn't get to go see him before he died.
You didn't even get to choose your room or nothing. You didn't get to do anything. So you felt it again. You even had remorse when you got a doll and you wanted to give it to him. And the reason that you wanted to give it to him, from what your soul just told me, he says, look, this is me. I'm coming with you. But parents said no.
Mm.
For you, in your mind, you felt almost complete if you took the dolly. Then you could be with him. But your mind, from what I can feel as a little kid, is it crushed you and you got in remorse. You didn't get what you wanted, and therefore it just kept building. Well, what are you supposed to do with this? I think you would have had closure had you have done it. Now, we're not trying to blame anybody, but I'm just saying, I think the little would have had some form of closure, which I feel like you never got.
No, I didn't. I didn't get closure until my grandma's funeral a couple years ago.
Good, very good. And now is the opportunity to allow yourself to feel like your brother's present with you right now. And if you do allow yourself to notice the age you are when he's present and how old he is, and notice that you can put your dolly with him, would he accept it?
Uh-huh.
And can you feel the conversation? Can you feel the love? Can you feel it? Yes, because now you're just showing me that little make the picture talk thing.
Uh-huh.
But now the little girl inside of you is like, oh, he's not a picture to me anymore. I can really feel that he's more 3D, meaning he's more real to her. Does she feel like he took it? Did she feel like that she got to give him part of hers? That can you feel all this?
Mm-hmm.
No, you can. I'm just relaying what I'm seeing and guiding at the same time, but your soul's doing all the work. Did you just say that you don't have the fear of being alone? No, you didn't say that?
No, I don't have the fear of being alone.
Because I felt like she did. That's why she needed attention. But I feel like now she's like, I don't have any fear, so I don't really need to ask for attention. I don't have to long for it and think that I never have it because I've always got it. I know how to create it. I can feel all of her wheels being different. So that means you're recalibrating. Okay, how you feel now?
Yesterday is a completely different day now.
Very good, very good. And as you start to balance that out, begin to just notice that there's spring. Okay, mom and dad's off in the distance. Yeah, you do your thing. But it's the brother, and I feel like other people are there, and they're sprinkling like gold dust above your heads, little stars and sparkles, and it's like the fairy princess energy that you never got. And in a moment or two, you may start to feel love and peace. Because where's that fairy statue your mother gave you? You can feel the efforts that even if it was after the fact, you feel the efforts of they wanted to celebrate your birthday or they wanted to celebrate something with for you. And at the time, you didn't understand it because you felt cheated, but yet at the same time, you could feel how they did put the effort in.
Mm-hmm.
So the little girl doesn't always have to think that nobody put any effort into her. All right. And when in a moment or two, you can tell me all about, you want to go, you didn't even know what you were supposed to be working on.
No, I didn't. Wow.
And a whole weekend to collect evidence.
Mm-hmm. And the thoughts that ran, I I kept calling them back because they didn't need to go where they were wanting or
To
where
the
the
person.
little was wanting to
Oh,
send them.
yeah.
And so I did. I called back a lot of shit. It wasn't
It
necessarily
threw a tantrum inside your head.
uh-huh,
You didn't necessarily act it out, but
uh-huh,
it you threw a lot of tantrums. Now, AY took care and said this, but it had to make sure it let the person know.
uh-huh.
So it was a sneaky little way to,
It was a sneaky little way to try and get attention.
and it didn't work. So you were supposed to collect all of this stuff to find out it is not just about deficiency. And so what is your wisdom? What did you learn from this
I
experience?
don't have to believe my own BS
Very good. What are you supposed to be focusing on now?
on the helplessness that was created by a longing for attention.
But notice how the belief was, I don't have it. I don't have closure. I don't have. But the question is that true anymore? So now you're going to be visiting that in your vending machine.
And I feel like I know I hit the button yesterday.
It's okay.
And I I tapped, I held point, I did source point, and it was like
See, and you know why it didn't really always work? Because you didn't want it to work.
exactly.
Your heart was set on, I want what I want, and I'm gonna say I did what I did, but it's not gonna work because it was I want what I want. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to address how you believe you don't get it and how much you got attention you did get when you did act that way, the thinking, the talking, the believing, and exploded to the point where you got what you wanted. And so you're going to keep replicating that
Mm-hmm.
best you can. But the thing is you have to deconstruct it because it's not working for you.
No, it's not. And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing because you're ready to grow. But will you able to help heal that part of yourself so an integration and a union can occur?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can. All right. So are you glad your mother came in with those glasses and told you to like, oh, you don't like that? Again, I don't see an old lady. I don't think anybody else did either because I got no comments anywhere, but I don't think you did. So you may, just like when you read a text going, oh my God, that woman, da, 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 and then you heal and you're like, oh, ready to get, oh, they didn't say that at all. It's a filter. So see where you go.
Yeah, I think it's because of the uh, anyway. There's some beliefs in there.
Write them down before you forget. Take 2 minutes. Well, if you don't write these beliefs down, then they're going to run wild. And you've seen those videos people put up, it's like chicks run wild, and all this other, just how people go and do things and it can be recorded in the brain.
Give it the time after.
I don't know. We'll find out because you're asking again. You're still in a timeout chair.
Um, yeah, I there's a few things that just popped and it's like, oh, that
You
makes
may, right. You may write them to me. Let's see what happens. Anyway, doing good. You are.
mm-hmm.
AY knows that she's got her own back. It's sometimes it's the hidden stories that the hell that come from. Or you're like, shit, I knew it was there, but I was ignoring it. But at the same time, you're learning tips and things like this that is helping you to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good. All righty. I do hear someone at my door, so it is time for me to go. All right. Love you, honey. We'll talk to you later. Keep
Love you
healing.
too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So there's a lot you can do. And when you are away from this matrix and on your own, sitting there, I want you to just ask yourself if you're happy or if you're sad. And all of a sudden, if you're sad, is it true that I need to be? And your ego will come in and say, yes, 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 yes. But you're like, but it's not love. I'm going to just sit with me. Put a hand on your head. Do OMG. You can say, hashtag heal instead of deal. Hashtag, I'm going to resolve to evolve. Hashtag, I can heal this. You have to change your belief system to have a better outcome. You have to change your personalities to create a better reality. Hashtag, thank you, spirit. This is one of the things you may have heard me talk about all day. And it is to keep your ego out of the way and connect up with your high heart and just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And even if you don't know the answer is there because it's in the quantum field. It can come at any time. Right. I love you very much. You're already blessed. You're already whole. So stay blessed and happy healing. Hey, it worked. All right, we'll talk to you later.